It is Howard Wood Field on another beautiful late September night as we get closer to the calendar, flipping to October. It certainly feels like autumn, and it's mid-season, believe it or not, week 5 out of 9 in the regular season. And tonight, under the bright lights, the second leg of a doubleheader at this hallowed venue, maybe haunted, maybe in a month for Halloween. It's an East Side showdown. The number 2 ranked Lincoln Patriots at 4-0, locking horns with their rivals from just a few miles away. The I-229 rivalry, the Washington Warriors. They're 1-3, having come off their first win of the season last week. Good evening. I'm John Gaskins along with Peyton Riggs. It's the simulcast. There are so many ways you can catch our broadcast on regular TV, Outlaw Channel 13.2, on the MetroSports.tv live stream, DakotaNewsNow.com live stream, the Metro Sports YouTube channel and Twitter channel. And, of course, on the radio at Fox Sports 98.1 AM 1230 and KWSN.com. Peyton, this game, unlike last week where we had Lincoln and Jefferson, a battle of undefeateds, felt like a coin flip. Couldn't wait to see what would happen. Tonight we're very interested, but Lincoln is a heavy favorite.
Yeah, Lincoln is for sure going to be the favorite coming in. But I think if you're Washington, you're also on the side of you just need to keep it close for as long as you can and make Lincoln feel that pressure of why is this still a game at this point? And if you're Lincoln, you're kind of worried of the fact that, you beat Jefferson last week in a game that everyone in town wanted to see, everyone in the state wanted to see, and how are you going to respond against a team that you should show up and beat, even not on your best day? And so can you put that to where you can string consistent wins along where your kids are focused the whole time?
The teams just got on the field about 5 minutes ago. They're just starting their warm-ups. We're just under a half hour away from kickoff. This game is following Roosevelt and Brookings, the Rough Riders, getting win number 2 to go to 2-3, 26-21. It got to be a nail-biter down the wire, but the Rough Riders got a big sack on 4th down with just over a minute left to seal Jason Stahlberg's second victory as their new head coach. And now it's time to take a look at some of the other games going on in 11 AAA football this week. While we give you all the action from Howard Wood Field, it's brought to you by Augustana University, where hands-on learning, a vibrant community, and diverse opportunities prepare you to lead and succeed. Of course, we have the East Side Showdown here. Out west, Rapid City Stevens is hosting number 1 Harrisburg. That's a mismatch. Jefferson ranked number 4 still after that loss last week to Lincoln right here, 28-16. And another tough one for the Cavaliers. They are at 1-3 O'Gorman. Those 3 O'Gorman losses came to the top 3 ranked teams. Peyton, 14-7. Jefferson got the road win last year in this game. What do you expect tonight?
Well, so I thought Jefferson would respond really well, but I know they're pretty beat up in the locker room with some injuries. Both running backs were kind of dinged up. They were missing a linebacker, missing a safety. And so it kind of gets you in one of those where how are our backups going to be able to respond against a team that, yes, they've only won 1 game, but if they fix their quarterback problem, they would be a team kind of like this Washington team where I don't want to play them if they get hot. And so you kind of throw the records out the door for that game. And how is Jefferson going to be able to respond with some injuries and having backups having to play?
You know what? We've already got an answer for you because it's late here, but that game at McEnany Field started at 5 o'clock for O'Gorman's homecoming. The Cavaliers win 34-14 to drop the Knights to 1-4 and to improve the Cavs to 4-1. Brandon Valley, the state's number 3 ranked team, also like Harrisburg, playing a winless Rapid City team. The Lynx are hosting the Cobblers from Rapid City Central up in Brandon. And, well, 42-0 is your score 1 minute into the 4th quarter. And here at Howard Wood Field, as we mentioned, Roosevelt hung on to beat Brookings, the number 2 ranked team in Class 11 AA, just 1 class down, 26-21. That may have raised a few eyebrows.
Yeah, that one was definitely a shocker. When I was walking in and I saw the score, I kind of thought, I was like, wow, am I really early? Is it the second quarter? Like, why is this still close? And then got up here and saw the score, and I saw Roosevelt the last drive was kind of running a wishbone offense there, which, I mean, Kim Nelson must have been rolling over up here, closing his eyes, because that's not anything he ever ran. And so seeing them do that, maybe they kind of had a switch up in the offense, and that's kind of what gave them a spark to – I know that wasn't an expected outcome of that game, and maybe they string a couple along now.
So for the moment, the top 5 poll in Class 11 AAA seems to be rather intact and holding serve, but let's take a look at it anyway. It's brought to you by Touchmark at All Saints. Harrisburg, the preseason number 1, has stayed right there. Lincoln has been gaining. The gap has been narrowing between number 1 and number 2 the last couple of weeks for good reason. Many feel the Patriots might have the best team. They are the defending champs, almost an entirely new roster, but it's been an explosive output so far. Brandon Valley just rock solid both sides of the line. They're 4-0. Jefferson comes in at number 4. Obviously, they're 1 loss to Lincoln, which we've mentioned, and now O'Gorman is 1-4. And a lot of these top 5 teams, Peyton, have not played each other yet. It's going to get a lot of fun these last 4 weeks on our Avera Game of the Week. But this week, it's the East Side Showdown. It's a major opportunity for the Washington Warriors to get a program-changing win if they can knock off Lincoln tonight. We're going to dive into the team profiles, the players to watch, the keys to victory for each of these 2 combatants as our pregame show continues on the simulcast. Fox Sports 98.1, Metrosports.tv, Outlaw Channel 13.2, and DakotaNewsNow.com.
Touchmark at All Saints is a full-service, award-winning retirement community set in the heart of historic downtown Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
At Touchmark, we want to preserve the independence that you have.
We want to make sure that every part of who you are is fulfilled.
I would recommend this to anybody. I think this is just a great way to spend your retirement years.
At the end of the day, we're here to live the full life.
Starting the first bank in South Dakota was the easy part, earning the confidence of local farmers, helping families account for their dreams, and securing the future for countless businesses took us a little longer. We owe it to the hard workers, big dreamers, and forward thinkers out there. Thank you for making South Dakota a great place to call home.
In nursing, where you work matters. At Avera, we build Team Green around you, with a culture that values and supports you. Leaders who listen and care about your success. And benefits to reward the great work you do. The grass is greener at Avera. So join Team Green. Learn more at avera.org/careers.
Banking isn't just about financial products. It's about service and what we can do for you. Those personal touches are at the core of who we are at Central Bank. Decisions are made locally by people who get to know you. And while a lot has changed since 1877, we're still committed to our customers and to being the best bank in every community we serve. Central Bank, member FDIC.
Experience it all. Follow your academic and career goals and your love for the arts, music, and competition that thrills you. Learn from award-winning faculty and in classes where you are more than a number. Build lifelong friendships at game day experiences and in student organizations for all interests. At Augustana, you don't have to choose. Live and learn in the heart of South Dakota's largest city, where job opportunities, networks of professionals, and a hometown feel await you. Find your bold at Augustana University.
Dakota News Now at 9 on Fox Sioux Falls. Your first and only local news in prime time. 1 hour to focus on the headlines of the day, plus breaking news as it happens. 1 hour to provide in-depth coverage of the biggest stories, alerting you first to what impacts you and your family's safety. 1 hour to give you a more detailed look at your first alert forecast, updating you every 5 minutes so you can prepare for tomorrow's forecast tonight. Dakota News Now at 9 on Fox Sioux Falls. Your first alert
versus Washington, the East Side Showdown at Howard Wood Field. These two teams have been meeting since 1965 when Lincoln came into Sioux Falls as the second public high school in the city. Of course, a couple more have been added, and all four of them play at Howard Wood Field. Tonight, it'll be on a night where the temperature will fall into the 60s, and it'll feel like fall. Let's take a look at the profiles for each of these two teams. And it is brought to us each and every week on this pregame show by South Dakota State University. And we start with the Washington Warriors. As we've mentioned from the outset, 0-3 with losses to Brandon Valley and Harrisburg, and then in the President's Bowl to Jefferson, so 3 top 5 teams. But they finally got a breather last week at home against Rapid City Stevens, 35-7. They ran for 251 yards in that game, almost 8 yards per carry, and the Warrior defense held the Raiders to 3 of 15 on third down, Peyton. So it was a great game, both sides of the ball. Rapid City Stevens, not exactly a measuring stick, but it was a chance for Washington to get well and show itself what it's made of.
Well, and 2 weeks ago, we saw them make all those mistakes on especially third down, where when they were playing Jefferson, they couldn't seem to get off the field. They would get a penalty, and they just kept killing themselves. And it felt like if they would stop that, they might be able to win some games. And so seeing them stop Stevens for 3 of 15 on third down, like if they can do that tonight, this game could be a lot different than what a lot of people expect.
Close game at half, 14-zip. The Raiders were showing the Washington offensive staff things that they hadn't seen from defensive fronts. They made adjustments. The kids were able to make the adjustments, and that was a nice win for Ryan Evans and crew. Tonight would be a huge win against this juggernaut from Lincoln, the number 2 ranked team in the state. Many were wondering, if not doubting, that Lincoln could be a state title contender this year simply because almost the entire offense was new, just one returning starter. But they're 4-0. They're averaging 45 points a game, giving up an average of 14. The 28-16 win over number 4 Jefferson last week. Patriots had the lead the whole way. They scored the first 14 points of each half. A balanced attack all season long. 452 total yards a game, 245 on the ground, 207 through the air. And did I mention the fast starts? They are outscoring their opponents 119-24 in the first half of games. That is an average halftime score of 30-6. That'll make a team very tough to beat.
Yeah, and I know when they lost everything last year, everyone was kind of down on them. But one thing that no one really talks about is how Coach Struck's offense is built to be really good regardless of who's on the field. And as long as the quarterback's not turning it over and he's making the right decisions, they're really high-powered regardless of what skilled guys, what linemen they have out there because of the tempo. And a lot of defenses, especially with high school kids, can't get aligned or figure out what the offense is in on a regular play, let alone when they're up to the line before you even have your call in from the coaches. And so that's their biggest strength, I think, but it also can be their biggest weakness when they run into a roadblock if teams get them into 3 and outs and their defense is on the field a lot too.
Right, and in years past with Lincoln when they've tried to be a fast break offense as well before they became a state champion last year, it's also the fire drill aspect where you could get some pre-snap penalties and that could rear its ugly head at any time.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is the quarterback. I mean, if your quarterback is making the right decision 90% of the time, you're going to be really, really good. And even 80% of the time, you're okay with him making the decision to throw it out to a quick screen, even if you don't have numbers, just to get your skilled guys the ball out in space and taking a loss of 3 every once in a while if it means he's not turning it over. Whereas if he's turning it over or he's taking the deep shot when he doesn't need to, that's when you're starting to run into some issues.
Well, those were some mistakes Tate Schaefer made in his sophomore year at Lincoln, and then he just got better and better, became the state's all-time leading passer at the highest level last season, and his brother Brody, a sophomore, already avoiding some of those mistakes, but still making the same kind of splashy plays that Tate made for 3 years. It's a very exciting output right now at Lincoln. What can Washington do to stop them? We're going to dig into that with our keys to the game and our players to watch as well as we continue on our pregame show. It's number 2, undefeated, Sioux Falls Lincoln taking on 1-3 Washington. Kickoff about 15 minutes away here on the simulcast. Fox Sports 98.1, Metrosports.tv, Outlaw Channel 13.2, and DakotaNewsNow.com.
Finding a place to belong is everything. It's where you can make a difference, where you're heard, where you have a team that supports you and the benefits you deserve. At Avera, you can find that place. You belong at Avera. Apply today. Avera.org/careers.
Starting the first bank in South Dakota was the easy part, earning the confidence of local farmers, helping families account for their dreams, and securing the future for countless businesses took us a little longer. We owe it to the hard workers, big dreamers, and forward thinkers out there. Thank you for making South Dakota a great place to call home.
Jackrabbits don't wait to see what the future holds. They build it. At South Dakota State University, the next generation's leaders are preparing to launch. They're focusing on growth, and they're reaching new heights of excellence across vital industries. SDSU is building something greater for South Dakota and the world. Join us.
Make Dakota News Now part of your morning routine. Eric Thorstensen gives you the latest headlines and breaking news you need to know before you walk out the door. And Aaron Doudna has your first alert forecast so you can plan for the day, and several days in advance with our 10-day forecast. Get up-to-the-minute news and weather and start your day with a little fun. Every weekday morning from 5 to 7 on Dakota News Now.
Banking isn't just about financial products. It's about service and what we can do for you. Those personal touches are at the core of who we are at Central Bank. Decisions are made locally by people who get to know you. And while a lot has changed since 1877, we're still committed to our customers and to being the best bank in every community we serve. Central Bank, member FDIC.
Minutes away from kickoff for our Avera Game of the Week. High school football in the Metro Conference. Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Always an exciting matchup. And tonight we have the East Side Showdown. Number 2 Lincoln and Washington. And it's time now to meet the players we really want to keep an eye on tonight. It's our Players to Watch, brought to you by Central Bank here on the pregame show. And for the Washington Warriors, I mean, we could go with Tommy Hoffman every single game. He's an electric quarterback with a great arm and can move pretty well and sling it down the field. But how about on the defense? Their gunslinger is Dante Smith, starting linebacker, 37 tackles, by far the team lead and one of the state's leaders. He's all over the place, Peyton. 6 tackles for loss this year, a couple of sacks. He was a monster in last week's win over Rapid City Stevens.
Yeah, and the biggest thing with him is he looks the part. I mean, he's 6'3", 205, and I think 205 might be an understatement too. He is put together to where other teams, when they line up, they know where he's at. They don't even have to look for where he's at. They just know. and so he's made his presence felt with this defense, and he's a guy that, especially with how fast Lincoln plays and their screen game, I could see him giving them some issues blocking him on the perimeter.
Yeah, he'll wear number 10. He has plenty of interest from Division II schools. He's been a wrecking ball for the last couple seasons, and can you tell me why maybe it's only D2 interest?
Well, so the biggest thing is, when you do combines and stuff, some kids may not test as well. And I don't know his test numbers, but to me, when you watch him play, he looks like a guy that's ready for games, but he may not test as well as everyone else. And so sometimes you just have to put him in the game scenarios first.
Lincoln's player to watch for tonight is running back Josh Myers. He is a beast, and that's the exact word that Ryan Evans, the Washington coach, used. A senior, 126 yards on just 13 carries last week, 3 touchdowns, 9 yards per carry. He had been kind of quiet in weeks 2 and 3, and he was the number one reason why Lincoln didn't just beat Jefferson in a top 5 tilt last week, but really left no doubt. But there are so many more players to watch and so many ways to win this game tonight. We'll have our keys to victory coming up in our final segment of the pregame show. We're getting closer to kickoff. Lincoln and Jefferson on Fox Sports 98.1, Metrosports.tv, Outlaw Channel 13.2, and DakotaNewsNow.com.
Banking isn't just about financial products. It's about service and what we can do for you. Those personal touches are at the core of who we are at Central Bank. Decisions are made locally by people who get to know you. And while a lot has changed since 1877, we're still committed to our customers and to being the best bank in every community we serve. Central Bank, member FDIC.
Jackrabbits don't wait to see what the future holds. They build it. At South Dakota State University, the next generation's leaders are preparing to launch. They're focusing on growth, and they're reaching new heights of excellence across vital industries. SDSU is building something greater for South Dakota and the world. Join us.
Finding a place to belong is everything. It's where you can make a difference, where you're heard, where you have a team that supports you, and the benefits you deserve. At Avera, you can find that place. You belong at Avera. Apply today. Avera.org/careers.
School football on a Friday night. It's where we're always at on Fox Sports 98.1, AM 1230, KWSN.com. We've been doing this for almost 3 decades, and we are here at Howard Wood Field as we normally are. And tonight, it's the number 2 ranked Lincoln Patriots at 4-0, battling their rivals from Washington, the 2 oldest schools in Sioux Falls. And it is time now for our Keys to Victory, brought to you by Vern ID Motors in Sioux Falls. And for Washington, Peyton, move the ball on the ground. I mean, that's pretty obvious considering what Lincoln can do on their side when they are on offense.
Yeah, and the biggest thing for Washington is can they sustain long drives where Lincoln's offense isn't on the field. If they can put together long drives, kind of how Jefferson did, where it kind of wore at Lincoln a little bit, and then get a quick 3-and-out stop, then Washington really has a chance to keep this close and maybe make a couple plays or get a couple funky bounces towards the end of the game where they have a shot to win the game. But if they can't sustain some long drives on the ground, they're going to struggle.
And for Lincoln, I mean, we have just mentioned how they are averaging a halftime lead of 30-6, a 3-touchdown halftime lead every week. They get off to quick starts. They play with the lead, and that's exactly what they need to do tonight because we've mentioned, look, Lincoln is a favorite tonight. If this had a point spread, maybe somewhere between 14 and 21, maybe more. But one way to keep Washington in the game is to keep giving them hope.
Yeah, and if you're Lincoln, you want to score fast. And if I was Coach Fredenberg, I would take the ball first. Because the moment you go down and score and it kind of seems easy, one, your guys kind of just relax and you're like, yes, we are really good at this. But two, then Washington is like, should we be on the field right now with these guys? And so you kind of want to put that thought into Washington right away. Whereas if you kind of toy around with them a little bit and let them hang around, that's where upsets happen, is when the favorite or the better team is the one that's making the mistakes or kind of playing lackadaisical and the other team is playing with something to prove.
No doubt. And those were our macro keys, but how about some micro keys? And we'll start with Washington. Ryan Evans, the head coach, said they need to start fast. They need to play lights out from the very first play. They know they're the underdogs. They have less firepower on both sides of the ball and not as much depth. So what can be the great equalizer in these kind of matchups? Turnovers, of course. Washington needs to cause more turnovers than it has been this season. Their defense has not created a fumble yet, and they have 4 interceptions. They're going to need to win that to have any chance tonight.
Yeah, and you really just need to try and get Brody Schaefer rattled. No one's been able to do it yet. You saw it a little bit in flashes where Jefferson would blitz, and you could see him kind of trying to escape before he needed to or making a bad decision where he threw an interception. But if you can do that consistently from the start of the game to the end, that's where teams are going to have a chance to beat Lincoln. If you can't do that, it's going to be a really tough job and tough task to accomplish.
Yeah, Washington, the benefit for them is last week, Jefferson became the first team to make Brody Schaefer sweat just a little bit. And so they've got the blueprint on kind of how to do it, and we'll see how Washington can utilize it. Also, Ryan Evans for the Warriors once, good gains on first down that has been lacking from time to time. It's a team that averages almost 5 yards a run. They can run effectively. Powerfully, it will have to be a little more powerful tonight, and they do not want Lincoln's offensive tempo to keep Washington's defense from making plays. That's obviously an obvious key, but it's easier said than done. Now for Jared Fredenberg and Lincoln, I mean, starting fast, how do they start fast? I mean, this is a team that can throw the ball around the yard and has mightily effectively, especially the first 3 games. But in Game 4 last week against Jefferson, they did exactly what a defensive head coach would demand a team to do more of and better of. That's run the ball better and more. They ran it 32 times compared to 20 passes, 257 yards and 4 touchdowns against a very strong Jefferson defense. The Patriots averaged 8 yards per carry, and they did this primarily with Josh Myers, their starting tailback. He reemerged as a force to be reckoned with 13 carries and 126 yards. So it's the run game from Lincoln that can help get them off to a fast start or set up the play action for the big bombs down the field.
Yeah, and the one thing with Lincoln that I think Coach Struck does such a good job of is he coaches to the other team's weaknesses. And so Jefferson's strength is their blitz, but against blitz-heavy teams, the run game, if you can break a few runs or get a gap open, it really makes blitz-heavy teams not want to blitz as much because guys are running right by the ball carrier. And so Coach Struck is going to call the game based off of what the other team is doing no matter what. So that's why they're always pretty balanced. Is pass heavy, run heavy. They're never one way or the other.
No.
They're usually right down the middle.
No, even on nights where it seems like, wow, they're very pass heavy, and then you look at the stat sheet, they did run it about as much as they passed it, but some nights they can run for a lot more yards than others. And look, maybe watch for Lincoln to go for it on 4th down tonight. This is a team that should have the lead a lot of the time and probably doesn't need to be as risk-averse as Washington does. Plus, the Warriors' defense has given up 6 for 7 on 4th down. So their opponents have converted 6 of 7 times this year.
Yeah, and Coach Struck's naturally an aggressive play caller. So you'll see when they get into 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, sometimes even 3rd and 8, he's not calling a play to get the first down right now. He's calling a play to get maybe 4 or 5 of those yards back so that he can go for it on 4th and 2 or 3, and he has an actual case when he goes to Coach Fredenberg and says, hey, I got a good call here, let's go for it, instead of, we all know Coach Fredenberg saying, punt it, let's just get a stop, because he's a defensive guy.
Course.
And so Coach Struck does a really good job of always keeping them in a manageable situation where it's not really 4th and long very often.
He's Peyton Riggs. I'm John Gaskins. We're done talking about it. We're going to keep talking about it, but we've got a game now to talk about. Kickoff time. Lincoln won the coin toss, deferred to the second half. So Washington, the road team tonight, will get the ball first. Edison Knoll, big right leg, kicking from left to right, almost little wind. And this thing is a line drive end over end, as usual, with Edison Knoll 5 yards deep in the opponent's end zone. So Washington will start at its own 20. The Warriors in white jerseys, black pants, big black blocky numerals on those white jerseys. Oh, the play-by-play announcer loves that. Black helmets. And Lincoln, the home team tonight, in their Columbia blue jerseys, white numerals, white pants, red trim, both the numerals and the pants, and white helmets. Washington right to left. This is an offense averaging just 16 points per game in its first 4 contests. A man in motion right to left on our first Dakota first down of the game. 4-down lineman Lincoln, a throw left for Tommy Hoffman. It's caught at the numbers at the 25 and ushered out of bounds. Owen Warren taken out by Connor Gray. A good, nice gain, short pass, high percentage of 8 yards, marking off that very first key for Ryan Evans. Big plays on first down.
Yeah, and I would expect a lot of passes on first down from Washington this week. I know it kind of sounds like most teams run the ball on first down to get in a rhythm, but their biggest factor on offense is Tommy Hoffman, and can you keep him in a rhythm and also get guys like Warren and Woods the ball early in the game?
Washington has a 3-headed monster at running back. The starter tonight, Jack Kucera. He's right behind Hoffman, takes the handoff on 2nd and 2, and he's right up the gut for a first down. Into the Lincoln linebacking unit, upended at the 35, right down the hashes. And Washington, with 6 yards on 2nd down, 8 on 1st, has a first Dakota first down.
Yeah, and you'll see Lincoln has a susceptibility to the run at times, but when they really have a mentality that they're going to stop it, that's when the pass opens up. And so Washington's going to have to be able to run it early and often to be able to open up Tommy Hoffman.
First down from its own 34. Washington on the near hash, moving right to left. 2 wide each side, but very close to the line. Hoffman's going to try to take it up the middle with pressure, and he is forced backwards for about a 2-yard loss. Several Lincoln Patriots were in Tommy Hoffman's vicinity. It's a loss of actually nothing. They mark it right back at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and they went a mesh concept out of a tight formation, and the running back was on a wheel out of the backfield, and Hoffman had him for a really big gain because the corner went chasing the drag, and he came off of it, and I don't really understand why yet.
2nd and 10, Washington, its own 34, 3 wide right, open field short side left. Hoffman play action, rolling right. He's sacked! Way in the backfield, Karsten Benson, the middle linebacker, came right at him like a heat-sinking missile all the way back at the 25. It is a 9-yard loss, bringing up 3rd and 19 for Washington on the first possession of the game.
Yeah, and they went with the same route concept they had on the very first play of the game, just trying to get Hoffman to kind of get a 1-2 hitch and throw on an out route, and he didn't even have time to hitch and throw. The pressure was in right away.
Lincoln's defensive line, it causes problems. Luke Kremkes and Ruben Dye, the ends. Kish, Eberline, the nose guard. Now Lincoln has 7 men at the line of scrimmage on 3rd and 19. They're throwing the kitchen sink at Hoffman. He sees it. He rolls right. He throws way downfield over the defense. It's caught. 35-yard line. Ewing to the 20. Angling right 10. And he is swindled out of bounds at the 5-yard line. 3rd and 19 for Washington, and the Warriors pick up 67 yards and bring up 1st and goal. It's a First Dakota first down.
And this is where Tommy Hoffman's at his best, and you fear, as a defensive play caller, letting him out of the pocket. You want to make him step up into the teeth of your defense where you can rally around and get a sack, and you show the blitz. You don't blitz, and he's able to get out and just hit a bomb down the middle of the field.
Yeah, that went for 70 yards all the way to the 5. 1st and goal, Washington from the 5. Far hash right to left, Hoffman from the gun. Kucera right next to him. Throw right over the shoulder. Catch is made over the goal line. Touchdown! And Washington, a big underdog tonight, draws first blood in the East Side Showdown, scoring on its very first drive in just 5 plays.
And that's huge if you are Washington, just because of the fact that you had a sack. It was 3rd and really long. You're kind of hoping, like, can we make a big play and get a first down? You end up getting it all the way down to the 5 and score on the next play, and now you just got to get a 3 and out.
6-play drive, marching 80 yards. Ryder Dobernpool in to attempt the extra point, right to left. Flags fly on the snap. And we'll see what that is all about. We'll also hear what it's all about. False start on Washington. We have the PA announcer and the referee colliding mics, so this makes the extra point attempt just a little bit longer for Dobberpool, who is 9 of 9 on PATs this year, and very, very little wind tonight here at Howard Wood Field. The snap will come from Miles Yetagesu. The hold from Oren Warren. Oh, it's a high snap. Holds okay. Kick, sailing, right on through. 9:26 remaining first quarter. Surprise on the final Friday in September. Washington leading number 2 Lincoln 7-zip. The Patriots get the ball for the first time next on Fox Sports 98.1, Metrosports.tv, and DakotaNewsNow.com.
Finding a place to belong is everything. It's where you can make a difference, where you're heard, where you have a team that supports you, and the benefits you deserve. At Avera, you can find that place. You belong at Avera. Apply today. Avera.org/careers.
Experience it all. Follow your academic and career goals and your love for the arts, music, and competition that thrills you. Learn from award-winning faculty and in classes where you are more than a number. Build lifelong friendships at game day experiences and in student organizations for all interests. At Augustana, you don't have to choose. Live and learn in the heart of South Dakota's largest city, where job opportunities, networks of professionals, and a hometown feel await you. Find your bold at Augustana University.
Pass of the season, the Washington Warriors lead Lincoln 7-zip. Washington 1-3, Lincoln 4-0 to start the season. We're at Howard Wood Field, and we are 2 minutes 36 seconds into this game. We missed the kickoff during the break, but Lincoln returned it to the 31-yard line. Their First Dakota first down, their first of the game, starts at their own 31. Plord, the tight end, in motion right to left, 3 wide left. That's where Brody Schaefer, the sophomore, throws. Caught, far sideline 30 on a lateral throw, and then steaming down the sidelines, pushed out of bounds. Near midfield was Luisin Akasi, one of Lincoln's top receivers, and it's good for 18 yards and a First Dakota first down.
Well, and it's coming back. They called Plurd for a hold, but I mean, Lincoln could run that play all night if Washington doesn't adjust. They motioned out, had 2 blockers for 2 DBs, and the only guy there to make the tackle is the safety coming from the opposite hash.
So it's a holding on Lincoln. And the spot of the foul is the 34, so it appears they'll march this back to the 24 instead of taking it from midfield. Oh, no. all the way back to the 21. So this is going to be first and a mile for the Patriots. 1st and 20. Their offense averaging 45 points, 452 yards a game. Balanced attack. Brody Schaefer, the sophomore, averaging 265 passing yards a game, 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's got a man in motion left to right, fakes the handoff, takes it himself down the hashes, across the 30 into a pile at the 32. So Brody Schaefer with an 11-yard run on the First Dakota first down to bring up 2nd and about 9. Schaefer can run. He averages just that, 11.5 yards a carry on 23 totes, 7 touchdowns. The hurry up, the throw left. Plord catches it, far numbers 30, but he is dragged down in open space at the 34 by guess who? Our Vernite player to watch, Dante Smith. A gain of almost nothing. 3rd and 8 Lincoln, and they just move right back to the line, already down 7-zip. 8.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter from Howard Wood. 2 wideouts each side from the far side hash, 3rd and 8. Fake handoff. Pump, Schroeder moving left, throwing, high point catch is made, Akasi, far sideline at the 42, a yard beyond the first down stick. It moves him out of bounds, a gain of 9, and Lincoln has a First Dakota first down.
Well, and because of Washington scoring so fast, as Schaefer's scrambling there, you're kind of holding your breath on, don't throw a pick, don't make a bad decision. If you're Lincoln's coach is there, and he ends up making a really good one by getting a 10-yard completion.
So on first down from the 42, a sling left side laterally. It's caught, but an immediate stop in the open field. A great tackle is made by Quentin Hall, the cornerback. And so it will bring up 2nd and 10 for Lincoln for their own 42.
And Hall's been huge for them the last couple of weeks playing corner. He had a pick a couple weeks ago. He's had a big tackle this week.
Schaefer steps back, throws over the middle, and he threads the needle. Complete right over the middle in between the hashes. Mikey Roach, the sophomore, made the catch, fell down at the 47 of Washington. That is a gain of 11 yards and another First Dakota first down for Lincoln. No huddle, moving fast. Handoff to the tailback, Javin Augustus. He spins through a tackle, drives a pile all the way to the 41, just right between the hashes for a 6-yard gain. Javin Augustus is the backup tailback, 5'9", 955-pound senior, averaging 7 yards a carry. Also a threat as a receiver. Lincoln now with 3 wide right, 1 wide left. 2nd and 4, the Washington 41. Caught, Roach evades a tackler after the catch of the 40. Down the numbers, 35, and finally crunched at about the 32. But that's good for a 9-yard gain. Another First Dakota first down.
Well, and one thing we haven't really mentioned was our player to watch for Lincoln was Josh Myers, and he's on the sideline without his helmet on. And he's kind of limping around a little bit, so I wonder if we'll even see him.
Jackson Vukurovich takes the handoff from Schaefer right up the gut and had plenty of space across the 30 to the 33 between the hashes. Check that, the 28, a 6-yard gain. Lincoln moving fast, moving easily on their first drive of the game. Down 7-zip, inside 7 to go first quarter. Schroeder steps back on 2nd and 4. Rush coming, so he moves right, throws on the run, completed pass on the numbers at the 18, immediately stuck down, but that is a good grab in space. I believe that is Sam DeGroot for a 6-yard gain. Check that, a 10-yard gain, another First Dakota first down, and guess what? Lincoln gets right back up to the line. Near side hash, left to right on the 18 of Washington. 2 wide right, 2 left. Schroeder, the keeper, up the middle, has some space, 15-10, and then goes right over a receiver, tumbles down to the 8, close to another First Dakota first down. They mark it just shy. In fact, they mark it at the 10. So it makes it 2nd and a long 1 or a very short 2. From the Washington 9. Schroeder with a tailback, Vukurovich next to him, hands it up to Vukurovich, right, cuts left, sheds a tackle, 10, has the first down, then makes the turn and dives ahead to the 5, 4-yard gain for Jackson Vukurovich. Waited his turn, a 5'7" senior with a big gainer bringing up 1st and goal for Lincoln on another First Dakota first down.
And when Vukurovich made that jump cut back to the outside, you thought, oh, he's going to score now. And Washington did a really good job of pursuing every guy to the ball there.
So it's 1st and goal, Lincoln from the 5. They're in between the hashes, left to right, crisp, clear. Autumn night. Washington with 4 down linemen. Schroeder from the gun, option left, keeper, and he is hit hard, but he is hit forward to about the 2. I mean, it was a nice play made in space to prevent the touchdown from Washington's Gage Lukes, a defensive end, but the forward momentum gave Lincoln 3 yards.
If you watched the Washington State game a couple weeks ago, they just ran speed option into the short side, and everyone's shaking their head. I mean, it's such a tough play for a high school quarterback to make going into the boundary.
2nd and goal, Lincoln from the 2. They are on the far side. The short side is the left. One receiver there. Play action. Throw to that receiver over shoulder. Caught, bobbled, out of bounds, and a flag flew as the ball was in the air. Just across the goal line, a Lincoln tight end in man coverage. It was Lucas Honor. We'll see what the flag is about. And it's going to be a big flag, obviously. If it's on Washington, Lincoln's probably on the 1. If it's Lincoln, they are moving back. And it's on the Patriots. Offensive pass interference. It's on Mikey Roach. Was he the receiver on the play?
Well, they tried to run kind of a little like pick route where there's a slant and an out route, and he ends up blocking the outside linebacker, Dante Smith. And since the pass is downfield, it's going to be offensive pass interference every time.
5 minutes left, first quarter. Lincoln down 7-zip, first drive of the game. It's been a long one. 2nd and goal from the 17 now. Fake handoff. Schroeder looks left, runs right, through traffic, 15-10. Now he's laterally moving to the numbers on the 10 to the 5 to the goal line. Standing, running. Brody Schaefer with the touchdown. And Lincoln a point away from tying the game on a 69-yard drive.
Yeah, and if you're Coach Fredenberg, you're just kind of standing there with a smile on your face after that play, because they had a play action with a little tunnel screen to Akasi coming, and Dante Smith sniffed it out. He ran right to him. He was ready to intercept it. Schaefer makes a phenomenal decision to pull it down and just try and get some yards, and then makes everyone miss and ends up walking in for a touchdown.
For Brody Schaefer, it's his 8th rushing touchdown of the year, 15th overall. Snap, the Crute hold, the kick by Edison Knoll, boomed into the stratosphere through the uprights, and with 4:47 remaining first quarter, both teams have scored on their first drive in the East Side Showdown. Lincoln 7, Washington 7 on Fox Sports 98.1, Outlaw Channel 13.2, and Metrosports.tv.
The First Bank in South Dakota was the easy part. Earning the confidence of local farmers, helping families account for their dreams, and securing the future for countless businesses took us a little longer. We owe it to the hard workers, big dreamers, and forward thinkers out there. Thank you for making South Dakota a great place to call home.
Jackrabbits don't wait to see what the future holds. They build it. At South Dakota State University, the next generation's leaders are preparing to launch. They're focusing on growth, and they're reaching new heights of excellence across vital industries. SDSU is building something greater for South Dakota and the world. Join us.
Yard touchdown run to tie the game. Lincoln and Washington knotted at 7. Edison Knoll, the kickoff left to right, booms it once again 2 yards deep into the end zone. And the Washington Warriors, for their second drive, will take over at their own 20. They did the same thing to start the game, went 80 yards. They converted a 3rd and 19, a 70-yard pass, Tommy Hoffman to Sam Ewing, and then a 5-yard touchdown pass from Hoffman gave Washington the early 7-0 lead. John Gaskins with Peyton Riggs. Patriots a big favorite tonight, 4-0 off a big win over number 4 Jefferson last week by 12. Warriors are 1-3. Hoffman, the senior, a third-year starter from his own 20 from the pistol. And Lincoln has 4 down linemen, 1 wide left. That's where the throw goes. Caught by Jace Woods on the numbers 30. And then shoestrung tackled ahead to the 34 by Jameer Bird. A quarterback, a 14-yard gain for Sam Ewing, who had that 70-yard. Check that. That's Jace Woods. And it's a First Dakota first down.
And that's one thing Washington has to do and be very mindful of, is getting their skilled guys the ball early And it's one thing, when you watch the NFL, you notice they get their best players the ball all the time. And so Washington really needs to put an emphasis on getting Jace Woods the ball in space.
5 down linemen for Lincoln now on 1st and 10. Washington its own 34. 3 wide right, 1 short side left. A couple other linebackers creep up to the line. Hoffman throws early, right side. Caught, far numbers on the 38. Tough to bring down. Ahead to the 43, maybe the 44. Near another First Dakota first down. And this time it was Sam Ewing. He's the one that caught the 70-yarder on the last drive. They give him 9.
Yeah, and Tommy Hoffman looks like he's really comfortable and in a rhythm right now to where he's just catching, and it looks like it's 7-on-7 when there's no pressure right away and Lincoln's not blitzing. I mean, they may need to blitz every play right now.
Tied at 7, 2nd and 1, Washington, its own 43. Far hash right to left. Hoffman with the tailback next to him, hands it off to that tailback, angling left, has the first down right into the arms of Dylan Calzo. The Lincoln linebacker. A couple more Patriots converge at the 47, but that's another First Dakota first down. It's a gain of 5.
And John, I know Coach Fredenberg kind of wants Hoffman to have to make really tough decisions, but if I'm Coach Fredenberg, I'm a little worried after that play because all 3 of their down linemen, where they play a 3-3 defense, they were moved off the ball there, and it was a secondary linebacker or safety that had to come up and make the tackle. And that's not ever something you want to see.
Braden Jackson, powerful sophomore tailback, made that gain. First down, Washington, its own 48. Throw left through the hands of Owen Warren on the near boundary. That's a wide throw from the far side of the field in single coverage with Connor Gray. Just a little high over his head, out of bounds. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Well, it seems like Washington has a really good feel for when Lincoln's going to play man and zone, because every time Washington's called that little out route with a slant behind it to try and get like a natural pick, Lincoln's been man and it's been open. And so if Washington can continue to have those tendencies with Lincoln, they're going to be able to be successful with their play calling.
2nd and 10, Warriors from their own 48. Hoffman scurrying in the backfield under pressure, throws on the run, wide open down the field. Oh, Woods dropped it. He was at the 30 on the far sideline in man coverage. It fell out of his hands. It brings up 3rd and 10, Washington.
Yeah, and he ran a really nice slant and go there to the short side of the field. And Lincoln ends up blitzing off that side with no safety help, and he gets behind. Hoffman does a great job of scrambling out, and maybe if he puts it out in front of him just a little more, it's an easier catch where he doesn't have to kind of backpedal and then turn his hips all the way back around again. But that's something that, I mean, Woods is a talented enough kid. He usually makes that play.
Leading receiver for Washington coming into this game, 250 yards through those first 4 games, 3 touchdowns. Hoffman, 3rd and 10 from his own 48. Flag flies. He evades 1 defender. Tries to run. Bullets flying everywhere. They finally bring him down. It took about 5 or 6 guys. A flag at the end of the play. It's back at the 42 where the play ended. 2 flags, 1 early, 1 late. It was a 6-yard loss, but that's not going to be the final math of this play. This is a major couple of penalties. Tie game, late first quarter on 3rd and 10.
It's going to be a 6-yard loss, John. There was an illegal shift and then a hold. Coach Fredenberg will decline both and make Washington punt it here.
Well, you just delivered that memo to me with about the same tone, but with a little less verve than Curtis Riggs does, which I appreciate. But but I appreciate it. That's why you guys are here. I can't tell half the time what the penalty's going to be.
I think Coach Fredenberg would decline both and make him punt it. I don't know why he would accept a hold and make him have to run another play after they just had him 3rd and long last drive and gave up a touchdown.
If he wants to get super greedy at 4th and 20 and bring him back further away from midfield. Illegal shift, Washington declined. Personal foul. And that's on the center. What was the personal foul?
Must have been something when he tackled.
Legal contact. He didn't say face mask, but that's the center, Eric Orellana. And so Washington is going to punt. First drive, touchdown. 3rd and 19, conversion of 70 yards. Thing of beauty. Tommy Hoffman to Sam Ewing, set up a 5-yard touchdown pass. Lincoln answered, long drive, went 69 yards. Brody Schaefer ran it in.
And they had one this drive, too, where they had a guy behind the defense. If you're Lincoln, you need to fix that right away.
2 returners back for Lincoln at their 20. The punter is Owen Warren from his own 30. Not much wind, short punt. They let it go. 25 takes a Washington bounce and roll inside the 20, 15, far sideline to the 12. It ends up being A 40-yard punt, no return for Owen Warren, 10 yards above his average. 2:20 remaining, first quarter from Howard Wood Field, in front of about 5,000. East Side Showdown, Lincoln, the number 2 ranked team in the state, tied at 7 with unranked Washington. Patriots 4-0, Warriors 1-3, and back onto the field trots the Lincoln offense and sophomore quarterback Brody Schaefer. 7 touchdown passes, now 8 touchdown runs on the year. Patriots have it on the far side at their own 12 on a First Dakota first down. Schaefer 3-step drop, hurried, looks right, throws right, incomplete at the feet, man coverage, near numbers at the 18. Mikey Roach, the intended receiver, but that was an incompletion forced by the rush coming at Schaefer.
Yeah, and I saw Coach Struck complaining he wanted a pass interference, but they're really lucky that the DB didn't see the ball in the air because it was an overthrow on the out route. And if Quentin Hall sees it, he's probably walking in with an interception for a touchdown there. 2nd
and 10, Lincoln its own 12. Handoff, tailback Augustus, left side. Oh, he's got some room. 15, cuts back to the right and dives ahead to the 20, the 21, near a first down. It's a gain of 8 or 9. Javen Augustus spelling for Josh Myers, who at the moment we have not seen yet tonight. Myers, the starting tailback this year, the senior, 6 touchdown runs, 9 yards a carry. Lincoln doing all right without him so far. 3rd and 1 now from their own 21, far hash left to right. 2 wideouts, short side left. They move 2 ends from the left end to the right end. Lots of protection. Handoff right side. And to the outside we go. Angling 35-40, 45-50. Augustus has one guy to beat at the 20. They're not going to get him. It's a 79-yard touchdown run. Javen Augustus. And Lincoln takes its first lead of the game.
Well, and the thing you're going to see with Lincoln all night long is they're going to flip formations and motion guys around because Washington's defense refuses to move to where they're not outnumbered to a certain area. And so Lincoln right now is just lining up, flipping to a different formation, and then checking whatever the call they need from Coach Struck to get the best play with the best numbers, especially in the run game, and especially when they can hook the edge and Augustus just walks down the sideline.
Snap, the hold by DeGroot, the kick by Knoll. Another boomer. We'll keep it here. 1:26 remaining in the first quarter. It was a boomer that was good, by the way. Something I should mention for those who are not watching. 14-7, Lincoln with the lead. A 79-yard touchdown run by Javen Augustus. That is his 2nd touchdown run of the year. He also has a 49-yard touchdown catch on a flea flicker from receiver Mikey Roach against O'Gorman in week 2. So Myers not playing. That was not expected. We don't know why, but my goodness, Javen Augustus looks every bit a starting running back.
Well, if you remember, Josh Myers tweaked his ankle or kind of hobbled off against Jefferson and never really returned. And it was one where you were hoping it wasn't serious, and then when he came out for warm-ups, you kind of figured he'd play. And I mean, right now it doesn't look like, they're going to need him tonight, but he's definitely a guy they're going to need as the year goes on.
Yeah, he showed it last week with his 13-carry, 126-yard, 3-touchdown performance. But we saw some track speed from Javen Augustus for sure.
Yeah, and this is something, if you're Coach Fredenberg, having Myers out, this could be the best thing for them, is building those 2nd and 3rd string reps for Augustus and Vukovic to where if someone were to get hurt, they're comfortable and they don't need to worry about anything.
Knoll kickoff, line drive squibber, taken at the 10 between the hashes, right to left. And boy, there's a lot of Patriots converging on Quentin Hall at the 24-yard line, a return of about 14 yards. And actually, the 24 being the best starting field position in Washington's 3 possessions. Their own 20 the first couple. Touchdown drive after a 3rd and 19 conversion, a 70-yard bomb on the first drive led to a touchdown. Second drive was a punt. But the Warriors did make it to midfield before that. And they trot back on for a First Dakota first down at their own 24, right to left, just inside the near side hash. Tommy Hoffman, senior from the gun, throwing right, got rid of it, caught, middle of the field by Owen Warren at the 30, and then he just kind of tunnels his way to near a first down at the 34. It depends on where they spot it, and they give it to him just barely. That is a 10-yard gain. Hoffman throwing the ball well.
And I think Washington has found their bread and butter play for the rest of the night. They keep running the slant with an out route, and even there, Lincoln goes zone, and the slant, the window was wide open for Hoffman to where it's such an easy read. He doesn't have to make many hard decisions on plays, and that's when he's at his best.
It's another First Dakota first down. Warriors from their own 34 between the hashes, 2 wide each side. Hoffman getting chased again, still running away from pressure, throwing on the far sideline, incomplete. Beyond the grasp of a falling down wideout. I think that's Dante Smith playing offense, unless that's an 18 and not a 10. It's tough to tell numbers up here. That was Jace Woods, their leading wideout. I'm sure Dante Smith is quite capable of playing receiver. Brings up 2nd and 10 for Washington. A lot of pressure coming from Lincoln. It seems like half of the time when Hoffman's dropping back, he's running for his life. And that's why, as you've said, Pate, he needs to get rid of the ball early if he can. 2nd and 10, Washington, their own 34, 43 seconds remaining first quarter, down 14-7. They're moving right to left, 4 down linemen. Hoffman throws left, it's a short throw, near side, and just walking out of bounds after the catch is Owen Warren at the 38. He had a defensive back a couple feet away from him, but he just went out of bounds, a 7-yard gain.
Yeah, and anytime Washington goes trips, 3 receivers to the field, they keep running a little hitch route at about 5 yards from the nearest guy, and then an out and a vertical, and Hoffman's not looking at anyone but the out route. He's catching and looking right away, and if Lincoln makes an adjustment to where their corner jumps it, there could be some trouble for Washington with that.
It was a 5-yard gain to Washington's 39. That's where they take it, 3rd and 5, 10 seconds remaining first quarter. Hoffman throws quick again to the near side left, and it's over the hands and the head of Owen Warren. Same receiver, similar looking play, and Washington will have to punt. The clock stopped with that throw incomplete and out of bounds. 6 seconds remaining in the first quarter. So Washington will punt as the last play.
This is where Washington is in danger of, if you're going 3 and out, maybe even you get 1 first down, but then you stall again, and Lincoln's scoring by breaking long runs. That's demoralizing as an opponent that's probably trying to fight with everything to even just stay in the game.
Owen Warren, the punter, is 1 boot tonight, 40 yards, not returned. He stands back. Oh, the snap bounces to him. He has to bobble it, get down to the ground, recover, line drive kick. Just lands and almost dies at the 35 of Lincoln. It rolls and is down to just inside the 30. So that's a kick that goes for 31 yards. But Washington just lucky to get the punt off. And so Lincoln will have its 3rd possession of the game to start the second quarter. They scored touchdowns on their first 2 and lead their rivals from Washington 14-7 as we head to the second from Howard Wood Field in Sioux Falls on Fox Sports 98.1, Metrosports.tv, and DakotaNewsNow.com.
Banking isn't just about financial products. It's about service and what we can do for you. Those personal touches are at the core of who we are at Central Bank. Decisions are made locally by people who get to know you. And while a lot has changed since 1877, we're still committed to our customers and to being the best bank in every community we serve. Central Bank, member FDIC.
Touchmark at All Saints is a full-service, award-winning retirement community set in the heart of historic downtown Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
At Touchmark, we want to preserve the independence that you have.
We want to make sure that every part of who you are is fulfilled.
I would recommend this to anybody. I think this is just a great way to spend your retirement years.
At the end of the day, we're here to live the
Two schools just a few miles apart. Starts for Lincoln an outside run of 6 yards. They have 2nd and 4, their own 36, start of a drive. Deep ball, left side, open. Akasi makes the catch, 25. One guy to beat who falls down 10. It's a touchdown! 64 yards. Schaefer to Akasi, and Lincoln up 20-7 on the second play of the second quarter.
And that's such a beautiful throw and read by Brody Schaefer. As a sophomore in high school, you're not expecting a young kid to be able to catch the ball, recognize the cover two, see the too high safety kind of driving on the out route trying to recover, and then not only recognize it, but put the ball in the perfect spot there. I mean, that's such a great job for a sophomore.
Snap, hold, Edison Knowles kick right on through again. And with 11:32 remaining in the first half, Lincoln, which fell behind 7-0 on Washington's first drive of the game, now leading 21-7, 21 unanswered points.
Yeah, and I mean, this is where Washington needs to put together a long drive. They can't fall in love with throwing the ball deep, or especially Hoffman, even if it's not the play call, trying to take that shot of we need to get all the points back right now. They need to get a long, sustained drive, get their defense a breather, and then punch it in the end zone and get a stop before halftime to where they can come out second half and regroup.
That Schaefer to Akasi pass was 64 yards. It is Brody Schaefer's 8th touchdown pass of the year. He had his 8th touchdown run of the year on Lincoln's first drive. 3 drives, 3 touchdowns. The drives go 69, 79, and 64 yards. The first drive, that was upwards of double-digit plays. The last 2 drives have been quick. A 90-yard drive, Javen Augustus with a 79-yard run, and then a Schaefer to Akasi pass. So the Patriots providing fireworks on the ground and through the air as they have in each of these first 4 games, and they now lead Washington, who came in 1-3. It's 21-7. And Edison Knowles, powerful right leg. This is a high short kick, returned far side of the 12, cutting right at the 20, shedding a tackle, and then moving on in to Gabe Bruns, a linebacker. That was quick duty after the initial missed tackle, and Washington will need to start at its own 16-yard line, down 21-7. Of course, Lincoln's only first down of that last drive was a First Dakota first down, and so is this for Washington, a First Dakota first down. John Gaskins with Peyton Riggs. Washington got everybody's heartbeat going a little early with a Tommy Hoffman, the Sam Ewing 70-yard strike on 3rd and 19, a touchdown pass the next play of 5 yards. All Lincoln ever since. Hoffman first down his own 16, airing it out, fade route near side, and it is incomplete. Now, it was overthrown by about 5 or 10 yards, single coverage. The Lincoln defender fell down near the Lincoln sideline on the boundary. Their coach is calling for offensive pass interference on Sam Ewing. That flag didn't get thrown, and it's 2nd and 10.
Well, and this is where, like I just said, Washington cannot try to get all 14 points back in one play. It's impossible. It's not, I mean, they can't do it. So they need to put together a drive where Hoffman feels comfortable, their offense as a whole gets some rhythm again, and really, the one drive they scored, they didn't have rhythm. They just hit one big play. And they've yet to show the ability to sustain a long drive without a big play.
2nd and 10, Warriors their own 20. Hoffman looks right, then zings it left. Caught, but taken down. Short gain, Jameer Bird with a great open field tackle on Jace Woods, Washington's leading receiver. A 2-yard gain, and it'll bring up 3rd and about 8. First quarter, Lincoln with 182 yards to Washington's 117, but the Patriots went 70 yards, 2 plays. Actually, a 64-yard touchdown was the very first play of the second quarter. Actually, it was 2 plays. It doesn't matter. Lincoln now with 252 yards to Washington's 117. 3rd and 8 Warriors, their own 22. Hoffman scrambling right, seeing pressure from the left, throwing right, up the elevator, incomplete. Great coverage. Knutson for Lincoln on the near boundary at the 36. And it brings up another 4th down and a 3rd straight punt for Washington. The intended wideout was Ewing.
Yeah, and Washington's biggest downfall the rest of the year, and it's been up to this point in the year, is their ability to put together some drives where they get 3, 4, 5 first downs. Right now, they're just relying on Hoffman to make a play. I mean, the 2nd down call was one that you draw up, and it looks good on paper, and then when the defense didn't move at all, you're like, oh, crap, that didn't work. So they really need to get a stop here to give themselves some life.
Owen Warren, 2 punts for an average of 35 yards. He may have had this one blocked. It's a sidewinder from his own 20 and landed on the numbers near side at Lincoln's 40. and rolled to the 50. So primo field position for the second-ranked Patriots, already up 21-7, having scored on each of their 3 offensive drives. 10:25 remaining first half in front of a few thousand on a beautiful, getting chillier night here at Howard Wood Field. So I couldn't tell if that was blocked or not. Could you? There's certainly a lot of guys coming at Owen Warren.
The biggest thing with high school kids punting the ball is even if you don't block it, if there's a guy near, he's probably not making as good a contact as normal.
And so Lincoln starting at midfield. Schaefer, RPO, throw right. Oh, what a stop made in open space. Quentin Hall, right after the receiver, Everett Starks, hauled it in. Takes him down. It's a 5-yard gain. And it'll bring up 2nd and 5 for Lincoln, of course, in the no huddle. Schaefer, toss pitch. The running back for Kurvich looking for room. Gets through a couple defenders, makes a couple more come up, and inches his way to about the 38 on the near side hash. That's a gain of 7 for Jackson Vukovic. Tonight, the backup, 5'7", 180 pounds. He put some time in the weight room, and Lincoln has now a 3rd and 2 at the Washington 42 on the near side hash. Tight end Plord to the left. 2 wide right, 1 to the short side, near side left. Washington with a nose guard creeping closer before the snap will be whistled for offsides. That'll give Lincoln an automatic first down.
Yeah, and they say in life, nothing's free. But I feel like with high school football, the hard count, the first time especially, is free. You're going to get someone to jump, especially on a 3rd and 2 when they want to get off the ball right now. I mean, high school kids, it's like the ball's right there. Just watch the ball. They just can't figure out to not jump.
So a First Dakota first down via penalty for Lincoln. Now at the Washington 37. Play action. Schaefer dancing in the backfield, rolling to his right, looking downfield, throwing downfield, dipped and almost intercepted by Washington. One defensive back, Hall, tipped it, and another one almost caught it on the numbers at the 15.
Yeah, and Schaefer did a great job of not falling in love with the quick post that he had to roach right away, because the safety did a great job of staying inside and driving on it. But then he waited too long to throw it after he broke out of the pocket, and Hall almost baited him into a pick.
2nd and 10, Lincoln, the 37. Schaefer's going to run with bullets flying at him right up the middle, through some defenders, and has the First Dakota first down at the 25. That's a run of about 12 yards. Brody Schaefer running well. He averages 11.5 yards a carry on the season. Already has 8 touchdown runs. That went for about 13. And again, Lincoln in those Columbia blue jerseys, no huddle, right back to the line. A First Dakota first down at the Washington 24. Near hash, right to left, 2 wide right, 1 left. And a throw to the right side. It's caught Mikey Roach trying to evade a couple defenders, but they have him bracketed. And Dante Smith and a counterpart take him down for a possible loss on the completed pass. Not a counterpart, but a teammate, a partner in crime, Tyler Pankinen, also in on the tackle.
And he only gained half a yard there, but that was an exceptional job of coming back to the ball, because if he doesn't drive back to the ball and make that catch, it's probably an interception to the corner there.
2nd and 10, Lincoln from the Washington 24, up 21-7. Early second quarter, handoff left side, not much room, but still about 4 yards right to the middle of the field. Javen Augustus, who had that 69-yard touchdown run on Lincoln's last drive, into the arms of big, bad Dante Smith, the 6'3", 205-pound senior, getting plenty of interest from D2 schools. It brings up 3rd and 7, Lincoln after a gain of 3 at the Washington 21. Schaefer again from the gun. Looking over the middle, looking left. Now here comes some rush. He'll roll to the right side. Defenders chasing him, looking downfield, throwing right. Dive is made for the ball at the far side 6. This is a catch in single coverage. A 15-yard gain, and I believe it's Mikey Roach all the way over there.
And Schaefer did such a great job there of keeping the play alive, not panicking. He felt the pressure, was able to get back out, and that's a play if he can make all year long, Lincoln's going to be really hard to stop.
First Dakota first down, 1st and goal Lincoln from the Washington 6. Far hash, tights to each side, 1 wide left, 1 short side right. Augustus, the tailback, in motion to the right. It's an option. Schaefer keeps it to the 5, across the goal line. He falls in for the touchdown. Lincoln 4 drives, 4 scores, and the Patriots now up 27-7.
It makes you shake your head a little bit, John, because Washington had them outnumbered. They had a guy there for Schaefer and for Augustus on the pitch, and Schaefer just kind of holds on to it for a second and ends up faking the D-end out with a fake pitch. And you know as a coach, that D-end has been taught. When he runs at you, just hit him. Hit him. Don't even worry about the pitch. Just tackle the quarterback, and when he falls for it, that's what opens up Schaefer to walk in for a touchdown there.
Edison Knoll ho-hum makes another extra point. He's 4 of 4 tonight, and with 7:26 remaining in the second quarter, Lincoln up 28-7 on East Side rival Washington. We'll keep it here. Fox Sports 98.1, Metrosports.tv, Outlaw Channel 13.2, and DakotaNewsNow.com. Also, Metro Sports TV has a YouTube channel. You can watch it live or on demand. You can watch these games back on demand at Metrosports.tv as well. We also post this on Twitter at Metro Sports TV live or watching it back on our feed. John Gaskins with Peyton Riggs. Lincoln coming off a 28-16 win and a top 5 tilt over number 4 Jefferson last week. The Cavs come back and take it to number 5 O'Gorman, 34-14 tonight. Meanwhile, in the game before this at Howard Wood Field, Roosevelt gets win number 2, taking down the number 2 team in Class 11 AA, Brookings, 26-21, in a game that went down to the final couple minutes. Edison Knoll, the kickoff for the Patriots, up 28-7. 28 unanswered points after Washington drew first blood on the first drive. Knoll right to left, end over end, caught at the 4, fumbled at the 4. Quentin Hall picks it up, running 10, down the far hashes 15, and into a couple Patriots at about the 16, right where Washington started on their last drive. Peyton, some of the keys for Ryan Evans, the head coach: start fast, check. They got the first score of the game, 7-0. Caused turnovers, not a check. Good gains on first down a couple times, but not really. And don't let the offensive tempo slow down the Washington defense. Box not checked.
Yeah, and if you're Washington, I think Hoffman kind of fell for the rat poison on the first that first drive of hitting that bomb. Now you can kind of see he wants to do it every time, and he needs to just sit back and be comfortable again.
On 1st and 10, on a First Dakota first down from the 16, a handoff to Braden Jackson, the tailback. Got a little headway, ran into some defenders, and was tackled at the 20 for a 4-yard gain. And actually, this time it's Ralph Williams, who's been Washington's starter up until now. 5'10", 170-pound senior, a transfer from Lincoln High School, a former Patriot. It's a loaded running back room at Lincoln. 2nd and 6, Warriors, their own 20. Hoffman fakes the handoff, scrambling right, on the run, under pressure, just throws it away on the near sideline past the first down stick at the 30. A flag is at the 24, about 4 yards ahead of the line of scrimmage.
Well, they're going to call a legal man downfield here, but really there wasn't, unless you're counting the receivers who are eligible there. Hoffman did a great job of, he fakes the wrong way for the handoff and just decides to scramble out and throw it away, and they're going to end up calling the receivers for an illegal man downfield, even though they weren't.
So the referee asking Jared Fredenberg if he wants to accept that penalty on 2nd down. It is an illegal man downfield, and it is declined. And so Jared Fredenberg says, yeah, we don't need your help. We'll make 3rd and 6 from the 20. We'll take it. Yeah. Defense from Lincoln playing well after giving up that early touchdown.
Yeah, I would expect Coach Fredenberg to send the house at him here. They're going to blitz. They're going to play man. They're going to make Hoffman make a tight window throw and make him feel that pressure, because if they can get off the field here, I mean, it could be really ugly after this.
28-7 Pats. Washington ball. 3rd and 6, their own 20. Mid-second quarter. Hoffman, here comes the pressure. Hit as he throws, and it's too high. Incomplete, near side 40-yard line. couple man in the zone in the area of Sam Ewing, but he never really had a chance to catch that ball. As you mentioned, the blitz came, and it threw the timing just a bit off.
And it's such a hard throw for a high school quarterback to make is that window throw between the high safety and the corner down the numbers. I mean, that's a tough throw for a pro to make, let alone a high school kid.
Luke Kremke's the defensive end, a South Dakota State Jackrabbit to be. Senior, second-year starter, as usual, causing all kinds of fits for an offense. He's the one that came at Hoffman. Owen Warren's fourth punt. The last 4 drives for Lincoln. This time off the side of his foot. It's going to be fielded and returned Roach near side or midfield. And he angled his way left inside the 40, ran out of real estate. And the play ends at the 36, about a 13-yard return for Mikey Roach on a 34-yard punt from Owen Warren. 6:25 remaining, second quarter. Lincoln offense has gone 4 for 4 on touchdown drives. Brody Schaefer, the quarterback, a couple of scoring runs. Javen Augustus, a 79-yard run. Schaefer threw a 64-yard touchdown pass to Luis Acasi. This drive starts at the Washington 36. 3 wide right, 1 short side left. A single back for Kurovich next to Schaefer from the gun. And Schaefer fakes the handoff, throws it, deep route, far side, just a bit strong at the 5 and out of bounds for a receiver whose number I can't see, and it'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and you saw Lincoln's kind of ran that same route concept Washington's been running with a little hitch route and out and a go. And Washington's in cover 3, but Quentin Hall's made a couple plays now to where he thinks he can get out of what his role on that play is, and he goes to jump the hitch, and the go gets behind him, and Schaefer just barely misses.
Everett Starks, the intended wideout, 2nd and 10, Lincoln, 36 of Washington. Handoff for Kurovich left, sees some danger, so then he tries to cut right, and then more danger flies right at him. Couple of different guys, but we will give the tackle to Miles Yitagesso, the defensive end, and it's no gain. It brings up 3rd and 10 Lincoln from the Washington 36. Schaefer looks back at the sideline, gets the play call from offensive coordinator Eric Struck. This is in Washington territory. Twins near side left, 3 wideouts right. The backfield is empty. Schaefer the chest high snap. He's going to run it immediately. Right, left, right, cuts again. 30, then scampering to some defenders. Twirled down, but not before a First Dakota first down. On the far side of the 25, an 11-yard run for Schaefer, and the Patriots move the sticks.
Yeah, and Coach Struck, there it was right there. That was him saying, we're going for this if we don't get it. 3rd and 10, you get a quarterback draw. You're expecting probably 6 yards to where you can go for it, and Schaefer just ends up making a play to get all of it.
Patriots, First Dakota first down at the Washington 26, far side hash. Schaefer faked the handoff, threw a bullet left. It is incomplete, right between the hash marks. The tight end was going after it, Lucas Hunter. A couple defenders there. It was made. That's what you were motioning. It was made. I saw one official near the play give me the incomplete, but the overriding call was complete. So it's another First Dakota first down at the 15 after the 11-yard gain. Handoff up the middle. Augustus sheds tackles and then finally into some arms, and 2 flags fly right at Augustus as he was being wrapped up at about the 13. It would have been a short gain. We'll see what it is.
Yeah, it's going to be a hold here. Okay. I couldn't see what number it was, but the nose guard had a hold of Augustus, and the center or the guard, one of the two, just grabbed a hold of him and tackled him. And, so they missed that. I guess it was a face mask.
Face mask on Washington. That's the last thing the Warriors need is the help from the Zebras for Lincoln to move them down the field. So from the 15, we right it to the 7 on the near side hash. A First Dakota first down and goal for Lincoln. Already up 28-7, inside 5 left, second quarter. Augustus in motion, but it's window dressing. Schaefer just runs right up the middle for the touchdown. Augustus was in motion as the snap came to Schaefer, right in front of Schaefer. The fake as Augustus was running right, and then Schaefer just had the Red Sea parted right at the middle. He made it a little fancy with a zag left and a zig right, but it is another Lincoln touchdown. 5 for 5 in the first half.
Yeah, and they motion Augustus out to the left just to try and make the linebackers move a little bit, even though Washington hasn't moved to a motion all night. And Schaefer's ends up keeping it because they blitz off the edge to where he goes back to the field. And the linebackers split right away because the motion moves some left, and then the play goes right, and so the middle of the field's wide open for Schaefer to run down the middle.
Edison Knowles' kick was once again through without any doubt. And with 4:39 remaining in this first half, number 2 Lincoln leading Washington 35-7. It's our Avera Game of the Week on Fox Sports 98.1, Outlaw Channel 13.2, and DakotaNewsNow.com.
In nursing, where you work matters. At Avera, we build Team Green around you with a culture that values and supports you. Leaders who listen and care about your success. And benefits to reward the great work you do. The grass is greener at Avera. So join Team Green. Learn more at avera.org/careers.
Lincoln Patriots in command, the state's number 2 ranked team, averaging a margin of victory of 31 points per game through the first 4 contests, leading Washington by 28 with 4:33 remaining in the first half. It's 35-7. Washington off a short kickoff return starting at its own 19, far hash, left to right. Tommy Hoffman being chased from the left, backpedaling. Here comes another defender. No, he stays on his feet at the 10, and finally a couple guys get him. He had one guy in front of him. He moved back from him. Then another guy came as he was running back. Then he moved forward, and a couple different guys came and stopped it. I believe Ruben Dye, the defensive end, made the tackle. A 5-yard, make that 8-yard loss for Tommy Hoffman.
Well, Hoffman kind of got left out on an island there because he caught the ball seeing blitz. No one moved to the motion for Washington, and Washington had numbers to their little screen down here, and the receiver just never really looked for it, and so Hoffman had to pull it down and try and, make a 20-yard loss, an 8-yard loss.
That first down, as all first downs are on our broadcast, the first Dakota first down. Now it's 2nd and 18, Washington. Its own 11, and whistles blow just as Hoffman was handing off to tailback Jack Kucera. So after a first quarter that saw 1, maybe 2 flags, it's been a flurry of them in the second, and a false start on Washington. So when it rains, it pours for these Warriors. They came right out, guns a-blazing, on 3rd and 19, a 70-yard strike from Tommy Hoffman to Sam Ewing. That set up the very next play, a 5-yard touchdown pass from Hoffman to Jace Woods, a 7-0 lead. Lincoln has scored 35 in a row. Still 3.5 minutes remaining in the first half. It's 2nd and 23. A handoff up the middle and some good headway just off right guard, and through the woods was Jack Kucera all the way to the 16. Dragged some Patriots with him. A nice gain to bring up 3rd and 13. Jack Kucera, part of what Ryan Evans calls a 3-headed monster at tailback. Washington does average 5 yards a carry as a team. Kucera, 5'11", 170-pound senior, got the start tonight. Braden Jackson, 6 foot, 195-pound sophomore. He's shown some flashes of battering ram greatness. Handoff, Kucera, left side, has the first down and more. Open field, 25, far sideline, 30. Rambling right into a defender who walks him out of bounds at the 45, and a flag flew. Extracurricular as Jameer Bird was the last line of defense for Kucera, who ran with authority, a 29-yard gain, maybe more.
Well, and some of this is just the competitive nature of Bird wanting to make sure he's out of bounds. but both guys were kind of battling as they went out, and they're both running full speed to where the momentum, like the players, nothing on the bench stopped them, and Bird's going to get a 15-yarder here when really I didn't think there was much there to call.
Well, they're still talking it over. The referee with 3 other officials, so maybe they're having the same discussion amongst the 4 of them that you just gave, Peyton, which is maybe they were both going at each other and neither of them gets the flag.
You can see Jameer Bird as he was running off signaling to Coach Fredenberg that he had his hand in my face.
Oh, they're giving it to him. Personal foul, Lincoln. And so that brings Washington, which was 2 plays ago, inside its 10-yard line, all the way to the Lincoln 40. 2:33 remaining first half. Number 2 Lincoln still leading the Warriors 35-7. And now the Warrior offense has the wheels greased just a little bit. They come out of their huddle. Tommy Hoffman, the third-year starter. 2 wideouts right, Warren and Ewing. 1 to the short side left. Single back next to Hoffman. And Jackson gets the handoff left side, and right away he is wrapped up. Dylan Calzo, linebacker, on the far hash is at the 43, maybe a 3-yard gain to the 37, not the 43.
And at this point in the game, Lincoln's content with letting Washington run the ball. They may break one for 15, 20 yards, but that's ultimately not going to get them back in the game, and Coach Fredenberg knows that. He's okay with giving up 3, 4, maybe a 20-yard carry every once in a while, and then winning the game that way.
That was a First Dakota first down. Now it's 2nd and 7, Washington from the Lincoln 37. Far hash left to right. Line it's tight, and Hoffman running for his life again. Way back at Lincoln's 40. Throws on the run across his body. Almost had it timed well with Sam Ewing on the near sideline near the first down stick at the 30. Ewing, or check that, Owen Warren found himself open. Tommy Hoffman went back about 20 yards before he threw it.
Yeah, and if you're watching, you probably thought there was a blitz there, but Lincoln's 3D linemen all beat their man right away. And actually, Washington had a really good play call with a tight end delay who ends up being wide open, but Hoffman's too busy running for his life to even see him. He ends up having to throw it away.
Those 3 linemen, the ends, Luke Kremke's, a South Dakota State Jackrabbit to be, Ruben Dye, and Kish Eberline, the nose guard. So it's 3rd and 7, Washington, the Lincoln 37. Hoffman backpedaling. Here comes pressure from both sides. Moving left, going to keep it across the 35. Oh, he's got speed far side. He's still in bounds 20. Cutting right 15 to the 10 to the 5. Tackled. Did he get across the goal line? Not quite. 36 and a half yards for Tommy Hoffman. A First Dakota first down. It'll be 1st and goal, Washington.
And this might be the break that Washington needed. And you can see, if you're watching, all the Lincoln coaches are really upset because as Hoffman broke it down the left sideline, there was a really obvious block in the back.
1st and goal, Washington from the 1. Hoffman on the keep, right over his center. A touchdown plunge. Washington back on the board late in the first half. It's 35-13.
Yeah, and again, I mean, it was really obvious right in front of the ref, and it looked like the ref kind of had to move out of the way as guys were pursuing out of the field of play onto the sideline, and he looked at it and then was kind of one where he was like, no, let's leave it there. It's a big enough play that we're not going to call it back for that. And Washington makes a play out of it.
And so the Warriors in to attempt the extra point. Ryder Dauberpool, 10 of 10 on the year. Snap, hold, kick. Strong, right through. 1:27 remaining, first half. Number 4, Lincoln leading unranked Washington, 35-14. And we'll keep it here. Fox Sports 98.1, Outlaw Channel 13.2, Metrosports.tv, and DakotaNewsNow.com. Our halftime show, full of scores from around high school football, many of them finals. This game kicked off right around 8 o'clock tonight. And O'Gorman got things started at 5 o'clock on homecoming at McEnany Field. Living on Keeter time. Steve Keeter loves to get games done early no matter what the sport. And Washington beat the Knights 34-14. We'll have scores from a bunch of other games in not just Class 11 AA or AAA, but AA, single A. And also a couple of college scores to relay and some local college games to preview. South Dakota has its biggest matchup in FCS play tomorrow in the Dakota Dome. Here, Washington got the ball first and went 80 yards for a touchdown. 70 of them on a 3rd and 19 conversion right before the 5-yard touchdown pass. It's been all Lincoln ever since until that 84-yard drive that Washington just capped off. Pooch kick on the kickoff, left to right. And a Lincoln returner moves up to catch it at the 25. Sees defenders coming. Mikey Roach moved. No, check that. Edison Knoll moved a little to his right across the 30 to the 32. Edison Knoll, I mean, he does the kickoffs, the extra points. He's the punter. He's a punt and kick returner. He's a safety. Might go sell popcorn at halftime. Who knows? Great athlete.
It's the great thing about high school kids is they're willing to do it all for the team, whatever it takes. Whereas I feel like nowadays as you get older, you don't really see that as much, especially in the collegiate level like you used to.
So Lincoln with a First Dakota first down, up 35-7. 124 remaining first half. They're at their own 32, right to left. Sling to the left side, caught by Akasi through a tunnel of defenders near sideline 40-45. And dragged out of bounds at about the 49. A 17-yard gain, just a quick sling to Akasi, athletic receiver. Brody Schaefer, the sophomore quarterback, is throwing it well tonight, already over 100 yards passing. He has 3 touchdown runs, and he throws it right side. Mikey Roach catches it far, hashes at the 41, right at the first down stick. Flag flew as that play developed.
It was a really, really quick flag and a really quick and eligible downfield call for that umpire to make there.
So that'll march things back. You can hear the Lincoln students better than you can hear the ref, but we don't need to turn up the ref's mic when you got Peyton Riggs on the call. He pretty much nails it every time, a legal man downfield. So it's a 5-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. Lincoln back to its own 44. Another First Dakota first down. Now 15 to go. Near hash and a handoff up the middle. Augustus has some room. Takes one defender behind him for a ride across midfield to the 49. 7-yard gain. Got almost half the yards back. Lincoln no huddle. 1 minute left first half. 2nd and 8. The Washington 49. Schaefer throwing right. Oh, perfect. Threading the needle. Catch is made far sideline at the 30, but out of bounds with 50 seconds remaining in the first half. A 19-yard strike. It's to, I believe, Everett Starks. It's another First Dakota first down, and Lincoln no huddles right back up to the line. From the Washington 30. 3 wide left, 1 far side right. From the pistol, Schaefer 3-step drop, looking left the whole time, throwing. Oh, it's dropped. Akasi had it right between the hashes at the 20, at the first down stick. Incomplete. Clock stops. 45 seconds remaining in the first half.
And this is where the great teams separate themselves. Are little things like when they come off the field after giving up a touchdown, yes, there may have been a missed call, but they're coaching all their guys up like there shouldn't have been. And then the 2-minute drill, too, for a sophomore quarterback to lead this drive.
Low snap. Schaefer has to bobble it, throws it left again at the 20, and again Akasi misses it. Now this one was a little behind Akasi. It goes right through his hands. Back-to-back incompletions to a wideout that had his 5th touchdown reception earlier tonight. It was from 64 yards out from Brody Schaefer. And so Lincoln now 3rd and 10 at the Washington 30 with 39 seconds remaining in the first half, up 35-14. Schaefer again, 3-step drop, moves up, looking. Defenders both sides cave in. He runs up the middle, has room, 25-20. Spun at the 10, stays on his feet, and finally a Village corrals him at the 6-yard line on the far numbers. A 24-yard run, Brody Schaefer.
Well, not like we didn't already know this, but he's going to be really good. Because as a sophomore, the thing you fear is their fear of getting hit by D linemen. And he never even looks at him. Like, he stepped up, felt the pressure, and escaped for a 20-yard gain and never even looked at the D-line.
He just goes right past them. I mean, on touchdown runs tonight, he has 50 yards. He has at least 50 more. That was 24 right there. I mean, he's a big enough threat with his arm. Meanwhile, Washington had a player that was down momentarily. He's able to hop off the field on his own. That's Gage Lukes, the defensive end.
Well, and I say he's going to be really good because I think he's always going to have to live up to that. Is he going to be as good as his brother was? and right now, yes. Because the one thing he has that Tate didn't have is the weapons around him at this age. Tate was with a bunch of other sophomores. If you remember right, they had all sophomores that year. And they grew together and took their lumps together, whereas Brody's not having to take those lumps because he has a bunch of seniors or juniors who have played around him that are allowing him to just be himself and not have to make all the plays by himself too.
Boy, that senior class turned into dynamite. I mean, you had Jack Smith, who's a South Dakota State Jackrabbit, all-time leading receiver in 11 AAA history. Schaefer, the all-time passer. You also had Isaac Jarofsky, who was at USF. You had Dawson Sine, D2 tight end. So
State.
Off the timeout, 29 seconds remaining first half. Lincoln up 35-14, first and goal from the Washington 7. And Schaefer has to step back, throws while backpedaling. It was through the hands of Augustus on the far side 1 yard line on the numbers on First Dakota first down. So it brings up second and goal from the 7. Clock stops. 23 seconds remaining in the half. And Schaefer and the Lincoln offense set up right away. 2 tight ends left, 1 right. Schaefer with 1 wide out each side. Augustus next to him. Looking left the whole time, slinging it left. Double coverage. And we have an interception. We have an interception in that double coverage. Washington gets the big stop on second and goal.
Yeah, and the ball was just a little behind him and low, and Akasi had to go down for it. And Akasi going for the ball at the same time kind of helped the DB be able to scoop it right up and pick it off there. And that's a huge play for Washington to not give up a touchdown where Lincoln can double up here before half.
We're trying to get the number of the player with the interception. We just can't see it very well, but that was bracketed coverage. That was quite the needle to thread, and for Brody Schaefer, just his 3rd interception in his first 4.5 games. So Washington, with 18 seconds remaining in the first half, has the ball, down 35-14. Hand off to the tailback, Kucera. He actually runs into a lineman across the 20 to the 23. The interception happened across the goal line. That made it a touchback. That's why Washington's First Dakota first down was at the 20. And that is the last play of the first half. Second-ranked Lincoln fell behind 7-0 when Washington got the ball first and went 80 yards. But it's been mostly Patriots ever since. 5 touchdowns in a row, a 35-14 lead at the break, and that interception was the only possession out of 6 in which Lincoln did not score a touchdown in that first half.
Well, and if you're Coach Fredenberg, you're probably walking up to Coach Struck there knowing you have all 3 timeouts and it's second and goal from the 7. Hey, I love you, man, but can we run the ball in there? Like, let's just run it in and go into halftime here up. What would it be, 28, getting the ball out of half too? But now they have to go score and keep this kind of battle going back and forth.
Something to file maybe for later in the year, but tonight they're up by 21. The offense has been A-OK for Jared Fredenberg and crew. They're amazing. How many yards do they have? Well, we'll tell you, and we've got plenty of other scores to pass along to you as well. Plus, we get to watch and hear the coveted, heralded Lincoln High School marching band. They're ready to go. Their Patriots are ranked number 2 and leading Washington 35-14 at halftime in our Avera Game of the Week on the simulcast. Fox Sports 98.1, Outlaw Channel 13.2, Metrosports.tv, and DakotaNewsNow.com.
Banking isn't just about financial products. It's about service and what we can do for you. Those personal touches are at the core of who we are at Central Bank. Decisions are made locally by people who get to know you. And while a lot has changed since 1877, we're still committed to our customers and to being the best bank in every community we serve. Central Bank, member FDIC.
Jackrabbits don't wait to see what the future holds. They build it. At South Dakota State University, the next generation's leaders are preparing to launch. they're focusing on growth. And they're reaching new heights of excellence across vital industries. SDSU is building something greater for South Dakota and the world. Join us.
Finding a place to belong is everything. It's where you can make a difference, where you're heard, where you have a team that supports you, and the benefits you deserve. At Avera, you can find that place. You belong at Avera. Apply today. Avera.org/careers.
Starting the first bank in South Dakota was the easy part, earning the confidence of local farmers, helping families account for their dreams, and securing the future for countless businesses took us a little longer. We owe it to the hard workers, big dreamers, and forward thinkers out there. Thank you for making South Dakota a great place to call home.
Your time is valuable.
You shouldn't have to wait for the weather forecast.
That's why the First Alert Weather Team is giving you weather every 5 minutes in every newscast.
Every 5 minutes in the morning, every 5 minutes in the evening,
and every 5 minutes on the weekends, too.
Focusing on the weather that affects you.
You'll always get the first alert so you can plan ahead.
First Alert weather every 5 minutes. Only on Dakota News Now.
Josh and Emily are visiting Emily's parents this weekend, where Josh will propose. He's nervous, but not about the ring. Well done, Josh. Well done. Chase is proposing to Ashley at the resort where they first met. Ashley was vacationing with friends, but Chase ended up being her best friend of all, plus some. Every diamond tells a story, but there's no story like yours. And there's no diamond like a Greenberg's diamond. Greenberg's Jewelers, a cut above the rest.
Experience it all. Follow your academic and career goals and your love for the arts, music, and competition that thrills you. Learn from award-winning faculty and in classes where you are more than a number. Build lifelong friendships at game day experiences and in student organizations for all interests. At Augustana, you don't have to choose. Live and learn in the heart of South Dakota's largest city, where job opportunities, networks of professionals, and a hometown feel await you. Find your bold at Augustana University.
Briggs at Howard Wood Field, where the second-ranked Lincoln Patriots lead Washington 35-14. All Patriots, just a bombarding of yards. We'll have the stats for you in just one moment, but it actually was Washington that got on the board first. From their own 20-yard line, they faced 3rd and 19, and then Tommy Hoffman just tossed up a perfect downfield throw to Sam Ewing, a 70-yard catch and run. Hoffman to Jace Woods from 5 yards out on the very next play. And holy smokes, Washington up 7-zip on the number 2 team in the state. The Warriors came in at 1-3. But after that, Lincoln responded. A 69-yard drive capped by a Schaefer 17-yard run from the quarterback spot. Washington punted. Then Lincoln went 90 yards, 3 plays. Javen Augustus, a 79-yard breakaway for the first Lincoln lead. And then on the second play of the second quarter, after another Washington punt, it was Brody Schaefer to Luis Acasi from 64 yards out to make it 21-7. Another Washington punt. Lincoln gets it back. Another easy breezy drive capped by a Schaefer 6-yard touchdown run to make it 28-7. And then Washington, well, I mean, just guess. They punted, or they turned it over on downs. And then Schaefer from 7 yards off out caps off another drive to make it 35-7. And then Washington actually bit back at the end of the first half. Tommy Hoffman had a 36-yard scamper that actually was only about 18 before he may have stepped out of bounds. Certainly appeared so. He made it all the way to the 1 and stuck it in from there to take the margin down to 21 at the break. It's 35-14 Washington. Just for a few moments, the pageantry of the Lincoln High School Marching Band. Let's take a quick listen. Of course, just as I say that, all you hear are tubas because the presentation is always something to behold at Howard Wood Field. Everybody else with an instrument was getting into a position on the field. Peyton Riggs, this is pretty elementary so far, but what's made the difference for Lincoln?
Well, I think the difference has been the quarterback position. I mean, Brody Schaefer doesn't make mistakes and stays really calm when there is chaos around him. I mean, there could be a 3-man rush, and he's able to step up in the pocket and stay calm and rush for a first down. And that's something that Hoffman loves to just try and backpedal and escape out, and that usually causes issues because Lincoln's really good at pursuing upfield and making him to where he can't turn the corner. The one time he did, he had a big play, but it's also cost him quite a bit tonight doing that.
Still awaiting those first half stats. The Patriots, after 1 quarter to play or 2 quarters into the second quarter, had 252 yards. I mean, think about that. 252 yards, 2 plays into the second quarter. 35-14 the score. Here are some others. Big one over at O'Gorman, about 10 miles away. McAdaney Field, the Knights coming in ranked number 5 on their homecoming, but they were 1-3, having lost to the top 3 ranked teams in the state before a win out west over Rapid City Stevens 46-7. And back to reality against the number 4 ranked team, Jefferson, coming off that loss to Lincoln last week, a 34-14 win for the Cavs. Here, right before this game, Roosevelt gets win number 2 to move to 2-3, 26-21 over Brookings, the number 2 ranked team in Class 11 AA. Peyton and I were watching the end of that game. It was 26-14 Roosevelt with about 10 minutes remaining in the game. The Bobcats scored off a couple big pass plays to make it 26-21, and they got the ball right back after a stop, and they had it at about midfield, marching downfield, but threw an interception to allow Roosevelt to salt the game away. And you should always expect an 11 AAA team to beat an 11 AA team unless it involves one of the Rapid City teams. You gave me a look there. Maybe not.
Yeah, I mean,
you were surprised by this result.
I feel like you could have said that maybe pretty confidently about 4 or 5 years ago. But the last 3 or 4 years, I mean, you saw T beat O'Gorman a couple years ago in a rainstorm at T, where it was a complete shootout.
Yes.
And then you see teams like Pierre go out and beat, I think, Harrisburg when Keenholz was at quarterback. And so I think every year there's been at least one AA team to beat a AAA team.
That's not from Rapid City.
Correct. And this was the one that I thought Brookings was going to come in and roll. and Roosevelt must have shown up, especially defensively, where I think they hadn't really played well yet. And to hold a Brookings team to 21 points is something that they should be really proud of, and they need to be able to snowball it into the few weeks they have left of this season.
That sideline exploded with glee on the interception that sealed the game with about 90 seconds left for a 26-21 Roosevelt win over Brookings. Brandon Valley, number 3 in the state, shutting out Rapid City Central 49-0. You know what? I have some stats from Matt Christensen, the head coach, because he is just that nice of a guy. Landon Delaney, one of the state's very best football players, had 5 catches for 97 yards and a score. The two-headed monster at running back, Levi Veskerna, 73 yards and a touchdown. Gus Scott, 37 yards and a score. And their quarterback tonight was Jack Blomgren, who was 9 of 11 for 115 yards and a touchdown. Brandon Valley, quietly, 5-0 on the season. Their schedule, like a lot of these top teams, gets a lot more difficult the 4 games after this because hardly any of them have played each other.
Yeah, and the biggest thing for them is they're winning how Brandon normally plays. I mean, to go 9 of 11 for a touchdown passing, have both your running backs get in the end zone, and have your leading receiver have 5 catches, but it's 90 yards. I mean, that tells me it was off play action.
Yes.
And he had man coverage, and he beat the guy because he's just faster than him.
Right.
And that's how Brandon needs to play. They need to be able to get stops. And it's like a boa constrictor. They just want to squeeze the life out of you as the game goes, to where in the fourth quarter they can hopefully physically just manhandle you at that point.
I like that. Can I use that down the road? They're like
no
a
problem.
boa constrictor. The Brandon Valley boa constrictors. So those are your scores from 11 AAA football tonight. Tomorrow, the top-ranked South Dakota State Jackrabbits are not playing. They have their bye week as they have the buffer from non-conference to MVFC play, and a tough one at Thorn in their side, Northern Iowa, next week. Meanwhile, USD is the big game of the week locally. The Coyotes are hosting number 17 Southern Illinois at the Dome at 1 o'clock tomorrow. USD is ranked number 4 in the country. Of course, they didn't play last week because of the whooping cough outbreak at Portland State. So some extra rest and healing for USD for their MVFC opener.
Well, and the one thing that is kind of not talked about is the fact that they had a safety that got disqualified for the second half or the rest of the game a couple weeks ago for a targeting call. Well, then they go out to Portland State. They don't play. They get a forfeit win, but he still has to sit out a first half of this game. And so he's really missing almost 7 quarters of football for a play that a college kid is just, he's playing fast, he lowers his head, now he has to pay the price of 7 quarters. That doesn't really make much sense to me. I mean, it's going to build some depth for him, and how is the player going to face adversity? Because he is one of their defensive leaders, too.
See how the Salukis can attack that, and you can hear it over on Q95.7 FM tomorrow, in addition to seeing it on Midcoast Sports and ESPN+. Meanwhile, USF at Minot State tomorrow, both teams 3-1. That game right here on Fox Sports 98.1 at 12:30 with a 1 o'clock kick. And Augustana at Moorhead tomorrow. The Vikings are ranked number 18 in the nation. You can hear it and you can see it if you're watching. The Lincoln Marching Band is trotting off the field after yet another illustrious performance. Second half on the way, with number 2 ranked Lincoln leading Washington 35-14 in our Avera Game of the Week on Fox Sports 98.1, Metrosports.tv, Outlaw Channel 13.2, and DakotaNewsNow.com.
Finding a place to belong is everything. It's where you can make a difference, where you're heard, where you have a team that supports you, and the benefits you deserve. At Avera, you can find that place. You belong at Avera. Apply today. Avera.org/careers.
Starting the first bank in South Dakota was the easy part, earning the confidence of local farmers, helping families account for their dreams, and securing the future for countless businesses took us a little longer. We owe it to the hard workers, big dreamers, and forward thinkers out there. Thank you for making South Dakota a great place to call home.
Jackrabbits don't wait to see what the future holds. They build it. At South Dakota State University, the next generation's leaders are preparing to launch. They're focusing on growth, and they're reaching new heights of excellence across vital industries. SDSU is building something greater for South Dakota and the world. Join us.
Make Dakota News Now part of your morning routine. Eric Thorstensen gives you the latest headlines and breaking news you need to know before you walk out the door. And Aaron Doudna has your first alert forecast so you can plan for the day, and several days in advance with our 10-day forecast. Get up-to-the-minute news and weather and start your day with a little fun. Every weekday morning from 5 to 7 on Dakota News Now.
Banking isn't just about financial products. It's about service and what we can do for you. Those personal touches are at the core of who we are at Central Bank. Decisions are made locally by people who get to know you. And while a lot has changed since 1877, we're still committed to our customers and to being the best bank in every community we serve. Central Bank, member FDIC.
Half just a couple minutes away from Howard Wood Field in Sioux Falls. It's number 2 Lincoln leading Washington 35-14 in the East Side Showdown. John Gaskins with Peyton Riggs. Warriors got on the board first, scoring on their first drive. Patriots answered with 35 consecutive points, 5 straight touchdowns. Washington snuck in a score at the end of the first half. Brody Schaefer of Lincoln has 3 touchdown runs. And the Patriots are racking it up. Already 391 yards of offense to Washington's 196. I mean, 196 ain't bad, but Lincoln has twice as many at 391 on just 39 plays. Brody Schaefer, 9 carries, 103 yards, and 3 scores as the quarterback. He's also 13 of 20 throwing for 164 yards, a touchdown, and a pick late in the first half. Javen Augustus starting at tailback in place of Josh Myers, who ran roughshod last week, but tweaked an ankle. Augustus, 6 carries, 110 yards to lead a Lincoln rushing attack that has 227 yards on just 19 carries, over 10 yards a carry.
Well, and as you were talking there, you said 39 plays with 391
well, I
yards.
meant, well, you know what I meant.
I kind of had to do a
That's a lot of
double take
yards
in my
and
head
that many
of
plays.
I mean, they're on pace to have 40 or 80 plays with 800 yards, averaging 10 a play. I mean, they're never going to lose if they're doing that, ever.
Yeah.
And so the biggest thing for whoever's going to beat Lincoln this year is who can stop them. I mean, teams are going to be able to score on them. You've seen that this year. But who can consistently put them down in distances to where Schaefer's uncomfortable, Struck's uncomfortable calling the play, and then they can also execute enough to get off the field?
That is a good question, and I don't think we're going to get that answer tonight. Washington has a long uphill climb. Lincoln, the home team, won the toss, deferred to the second half, so they get the ball first out of the break. Dauberpool, the kickoff, left to right. Not much wind, short, fielded at about the 10, right up the far side hash marks, right to left, 20 to the 25, about a 15-yard return for Javen Augustus. Man, that kid is fast. Again, he had the 79-yard touchdown run tonight. He's had a 49-yard touchdown catch earlier this year. Electrifying player as both a right out and a running back, but he trots off the field for Lincoln's first play. It's a First Dakota first down to start the second half for the Patriots from their own 25-yard line, up by 21. Washington with 4 down linemen. Schaefer from the gun, poured the tight end in motion right to left. Handoff left side, shedding tackles in the backfield. Augustus, and yeah, he is back on the field, and he's crunched in between the numbers and the hashes at the 32 after a 7-yard first down gain.
Well, and the biggest difference is Josh Myers runs really well behind his pads. Man, Augustus gets around the edge, and he can burn down the sideline.
On second down, a quick sling to the left side. Luis Acasi catches it on the near boundary, then cuts right for a couple extra yards to the 39. It's a gain of about 7. It's another First Dakota first down for Lincoln. And they move real quickly again. Augustus, handoff, far side. He's tracked down. Dante Smith, our Central Bank player to watch tonight for Washington. No gain on the play. Do not try to run wide on Dante Smith.
Yeah, he's showing his athleticism this year, especially of being able to move sideline to sideline, especially in the run game.
Patriots again, quick snap, 2nd and 10, handoff up the middle and right into a wall. A couple yards into a sea of white jerseys for the tailback. And coming out of that big pile of those white jerseys, that's Augustus. He'll run off the field. That was a 3-yard gain. but he was upended quickly once he got there. So it is 3rd and a long 7 for Lincoln, their own 42, up 35-14. A minute and a half into the second half, right to left. Schaefer, 3-step drop, empty backfield. Deep ball, left side, Roach is there, almost had it. Out of his hands as he falls down, double coverage at the 15-yard line on the near hashes, and Lincoln goes 3 and out to punt to start the second half. Not 3 and out, but they have to punt.
Well, the issue with that there was they were supposed to have switch release with both of the guys running verticals, and Akasi shuts his vertical down at about 10 yards, and the linebacker's right in front of him. And so then Schaefer just has to throw it deep and give Roach a chance down the sideline. And Roach had already ran out of bounds, so even if he caught it, it would have been illegal.
For Edison Knoll, this is just his 7th punt in 4.5 games. He averages 33 yards a boot. One returner back at Washington's 23. Knoll rambles to his left, kicks it high. Again, no wind tonight. It is not returned. It bounces at the 26 on the far hashes, and then it was all the way down to the 18 yards of bounce and roll. And so for Edison Knoll, that's a punt of 51 yards.
And it's such a valuable thing that Lincoln has, having a senior that you can tell they rely on him for a lot, but they trust him too. Because as soon as he caught the punt, he was kind of looking to see if he could fake it and run. But that time that he did doing that gave them enough time to get enough guys down there to where even he can kick it as far as he wants, and no matter what bounce it is, they're going to be able to down it.
Sioux Falls, Washington, starting at its own 9-yard line. First Dakota first down, left to right, far hash. Hoffman, the quarterback, hands it off to the tailback, and that off right guard is Ralph Williams for 2 or 3 yards to the 11 or 12. 2 minutes into the second half, it's 35-14, Lincoln with the lead. Washington scored first, Lincoln 35 in a row. Washington a late touchdown in the first half. Lincoln punting on its first drive of the second half. It's 2nd and 8 Warriors, their own 11. 1 wide left, 1 slot right, 2 wide right. Hoffman from the pistol throws it right side. It's almost intercepted. This was ill-timed. He had Ewing streaking down the near sideline, Warren coming toward the ball on the near boundary at the 20, and 2 Patriots ready to pick it off.
Well, and you're already seeing the adjustments that great teams make. They go into halftime, Lincoln, that is. They make the adjustment, and you saw Jameer Bird was just a half step late of jumping that out route, and he'd have had 6 if he would have jumped it. And so you could see the staff, too. They saw it right away. They were excited to see Jameer Bird jump it, and they're going to do it at some point again.
3rd and 8 Warriors, their own 11. Far hash, left to right. Handoff up the middle, and Ralph Williams is corralled. He's hit hard by a couple of his old teammates. No gain, and Washington will have to punt. Ralph Williams was in the backfield stable of Lincoln the last couple of years. The 3rd stringer last year. He moves over to Washington to become the starting tailback. You could see a little extra force by some of his former teammates at the end of that run.
Yeah, and I mean, they may all be friends off the field. I don't know how that all works. But I know even when you get a chance to hit your friend, you're going to give him a little bit more than just a regular person.
So Owen Warren standing 2 yards deep in Washington's end zone. This is a short punt. Little hang time. Mikey Roach, full head of steam. Took it at about the 35. Angled a little left down the near numbers to the 21. A good job by the Warrior cover team because, man, that thing might have been in the air for 2 seconds. And so Roach had some time and some space to run, and it closed in on him quickly. It's about a 15, maybe 17-yard return.
Well, if you're Coach Struck here, you love seeing Schaefer do what he does, but I would have the mentality of let's go run the ball every play and see if we can just dominate the line of scrimmage to go score 7 here.
Or is that just what you want so the game ends quicker?
No, that wouldn't help that yet.
It's still a game, 35-14, 8:48 remaining in the third. Lincoln has done almost anything it wants to do on offense tonight. Schaefer, the keeper, off the right side, and just like that return, had a lot of space initially, and then the wall caved in across the 20 to about the 19-yard line. No surprise, Dante Smith, part of the wrecking crew, getting out of that tackle. Also in on the stop was Xander Idem, a middle linebacker. 5 yards for Schaefer on a very simple up-the-middle run from the quarterback spot. 2nd and 5, the 18. Throw left side. It's through the hands. Just a quick lateral. That would not have gone for any yards. And it will bring up a 3rd and 5, just to the 20-yard line. Just a quick throw to the short side, and not much was there for Jackson Vukurovic.
And there's the youth of Schaefer trying to get greedy and throw in the bubble when he had numbers in the box. And that's something that he's just going to be accustomed to doing as he gets older, of just taking what the defense gives him.
3rd and 5, Lincoln from the Washington 18. The play clock moving down to 10 seconds. Patriots looking, they're not burning any time off the game clock by doing this after that incompletion. But Schaefer looks right, then he throws over the middle, wide open at the 10 to the 5, and wrangled just before the goal line. Sam Plord, the tight end, he catches 1 pass a game. 4 catches, 57 yards coming into this one. That pass went for 17 yards. It's a First Dakota first down and goal for Lincoln, and the Patriots race right back up there. Schaefer adjusts and gets his chin strap buckled in. Lincoln first and goal. He's from the gun. In between the hashes, right to left. 1 single back next to him, and the handoff goes there. Augustus behind his right guard has an easy touchdown. Lincoln now up 41-14 on that short touchdown drive that took just a few plays.
Yeah, and again, Lincoln's going to show their dominance up front right here on that play where Augustus really didn't have anywhere to go, but he didn't need to because the line had such good push that all he had to do was run forward and he was already a yard into the end zone. And that's where Washington needs to make the adjustment of you're on the 1-yard line and there's 3 D linemen there. You need to be able to bring some guys up closer.
What happened on the extra point attempt? I'll full-fledged admit I was not watching.
It was a high snap, and he tried to get it down, stood back up, and then ended up just throwing it.
And so the score remains Lincoln 41, Washington 14. We're watching the replay of the touchdown on the video board here at Howard Wood Field. We'll keep it here. Fox Sports 98.1, Metrosports.tv, DakotaNewsNow.com, and Outlaw Channel 13.2. John Gaskins with Peyton Riggs. So for Javen Augustus, that's his 2nd touchdown run tonight. It is his 3rd touchdown run of the year. A dual threat in the sense he can play both running back and wide receiver. He's been a wideout from time to time when Josh Myers has been the starting tailback. Myers not playing tonight with an ankle injury suffered late in an astounding performance against Jefferson in a big-time game last week. Patriots won that battle 28-16. Myers had 126 yards, but he has been kept under wraps tonight, and Augustus has done just fine. 6 carries, 110 yards in the first half, and he's tacked on a few more since the break. 41-14 Lincoln. Edison Knoll, the kickoff, right to left. Again, it's about 65 degrees. Last Friday in September, hardly any wind. End over it. It's a short kick for Knoll. Far side taken 8 down the far sideline, past defenders 20, and then out of bounds to about the 27-yard line. Quentin Hall has some jets, and he's displayed it a few times in the games we've seen from Washington. That's a return of about 20 yards. So Washington down 27. Peyton Riggs, there's 7:39 remaining in the third quarter. I mean, a win is fairly out of reach. So what are we looking for out of Tommy Hoffman?
Well, the biggest thing is just build some confidence and try to instill in him for the rest of the year to stop trying to make the home run play every time and just take what the defense gives him, because that's really when they've scored, is he's just taking the easy play.
1st and 10, First Dakota first down. Hoffman on the keep. He kind of just moved laterally to the right, cut left, straight up the middle, and got some yards out of it to the 35. In fact, that's an 8-yard gain. Tommy Hoffman has displayed his legs for the last 3 years. He's got a rocket of an arm as well. He has rushed for 127 yards coming into tonight. That's his 7th carry for 22 yards.
Well, he's done a great job of running. He has to at times because he's running for his life in the backfield. But the one thing you haven't seen Washington do yet is make a concerted effort to get Jace Woods the ball. And he's their best playmaker on the outside, and they don't use him enough as they should.
2nd and 2 Warriors in between the hashes, 35. Handoff up the middle. The starting tailback tonight, Jack Kucera, goes into the Lincoln linebacking crew. In fact, Edison Knoll, part of the tackling at the end of that play at the 38, a 3-yard gain. That's a First Dakota first down for the Washington offense. They're taking plenty of time. They're doing this old-fashioned thing called the huddle that few and fewer teams in all levels of football do. They're clearly in no hurry to strike back at Washington, kind of shortening the game here. 6:30 and ticking. They're not breaking the huddle until the 12-second mark. Tommy Hoffman, the senior, a 3-year starter. Lincoln scrambling to get set its defense. 3-down lineman. Motion in the backfield. Hoffman looks left, scrambles right, has a hole up to the 40, and then, wow, he is wrecked down at about the 44-yard line. That's a brutal moving hit by Gabe Bruns, the linebacker. And Ruben Dye stepping with Hoffman throughout the play. It's still a 5-yard run for Tommy to Washington's 43, and we have a timeout. Lincoln will take it with the Patriots. We're halfway through the third quarter, and second-ranked Lincoln leading Washington 41-14. Our Avera High School Game of the Week. Fox Sports 98.1, Outlaw Channel 13.2, and Metrosports.tv.
News now at 9 on Fox Sioux Falls. Your first and only local news in primetime. 1 hour to focus on the headlines of the day, plus breaking news as it happens. 1 hour to provide in-depth coverage of the biggest stories, alerting you first to what impacts you and your family's safety. 1 hour to give you a more detailed look at your first alert forecast, updating you every 5 minutes so you can prepare for tomorrow's forecast tonight. Dakota News Now at 9 on Fox Sioux Falls, your first alert station.
Starting the first bank in South Dakota was the easy part, earning the confidence of local farmers, helping families account for their dreams, and securing the future for countless businesses took us a little longer. We owe it to the hard workers, big dreamers, and forward thinkers out there. Thank you for making South Dakota a great place to call home.
Mid-third quarter, Lincoln 41, Washington 14, East Side Showdown here on Fox Sports 98.1 and Metrosports.tv. Out of the timeout, Washington with the ball, 2nd and 5 at its own 43, and one of the Lincoln defensive linemen jumped off sides. That gives Washington a First Dakota first down.
I think that was the first time they used the free pass of the hard count all night, and it worked, of course, and so I'm shocked teams that play Lincoln don't do it more just because of how aggressive their D-line is.
So the Warriors from their own 48, handoff, tailback, and Kuseret taken down by Luke Kremkes. South Dakota State commit, third-year player, second-year starter, 6'4", 250 senior. Not someone I would want to run the ball anywhere near. And if you don't, he'll find you like he just did. No gain. 2nd and 10, Washington from its own 48. Scored first in this game. Lincoln scored 35 in a row, 35-14 at the break. It's now 41-14. Near the 5-minute mark of the third. Hoffman backpedaling, slinging it left, short pass caught, far hashes, and tripped up by Dylan Calzo. Is Owen Warren across midfield to about the 49, just about a 3-yard gain. On a night when professional rodeo is literally across the street, Dylan Calzo with a little lasso on that play. I've been waiting all night to use that one. And it ends up a 2-yard gain to midfield. It's not facepalm worthy, Peyton. It's 3rd and 8, Washington. Lincoln with 4 down linemen. Hoffman throwing a deep ball, right side. He's got Woods up for grabs, and he was in double coverage at the 15. And it'll bring up a 4th and 8 for Washington.
Well, and there's Edison Knoll again. I mean, I think if you give Lincoln an MVP, everyone's going to vote Brody Schaefer.
Yeah.
But Edison Knoll should be a close second because he does everything, and he always seems to be around the ball, even when he's not supposed to be. I think right there he had a middle third and cover 3, and as soon as the ball was in there, he has the closing speed to get all the way out to the other side on the numbers and make a play to where Jace Woods can't catch it and score.
Washington, of course, down by 27, 4.5 minutes remaining at midfield. Why not go for it on 4th and 8? Hoffman with an empty backfield, and he's just going to run it. No, he's going to step up and throw. He's got a man open. He's got Ewing for a first down right up the gut. He found Ewing at just inside the 40. Taken down by Kremkes, the defensive end at the 35, a 15-yard gain, a 4th down conversion, a First Dakota first down for Washington.
Well, and this is where stepping up in the pocket allows a quarterback to still be able to see everything. And so there, Hoffman finally steps up instead of stepping out, and he's able to see his receiver sit into a window that gets him a first down.
From the 34 of Lincoln, Hoffman left to right, far hash. Fake the handoff, through to the right side. It's caught by Euling. Inside the hashes at the 30, and he makes his way forward 25 into the Lincoln backfield at the 20. It's another first down for Washington, a First Dakota first down, gain of 14 yards.
Well, and the one thing that I'm watching Lincoln's defense right now, they do a really good job of a lot of things. But the one thing that they need to start to really harp on, because they don't force many turnovers if they're not blitzing, is anytime they go to tackle, they should be punching at the ball. And you just don't see it at a high school level like you do higher up nowadays. And if you could start doing that with these kids, I mean, that ball is pretty loose with high school kids.
Washington from the Lincoln 21. Handoff up the middle, space, but it caves in quickly for Ralph Williams, the former Patriot. He dives ahead to about the 15. They mark it 16. It's a gain of 5. John Gaskins with Peyton Riggs, 3:10 and ticking, third quarter. Lincoln has had a stranglehold on this game since early second quarter when it went up 21-7 on the second play of that quarter. Brody Schaefer has 3 touchdown runs and a touchdown pass tonight. 2nd and 5, handoff, Myers, easy, quick tackle, Dylan Calzo with another lasso right at about the 16-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and 5. Calzo's had a few big plays in open space tonight.
And this is where Washington's offensive scheme kind of gets in the way at times, is they're not a team to get to the line and check what the defense is in to get into their best play call. They just kind of run whatever's called. And so there they have a run play called, and Lincoln has the perfect call for it with a blitz and man coverage. And there's nothing Washington can do but run it. And so then that's where Lincoln just ends up winning the play.
3rd and 5 Warriors, the Lincoln 16. Hoffman rolling right, backpedaling, throwing left. Catches made Owen Warren, far numbers 20, 15, and then pinned inside the 10 to about the 6. It took Connor Gray, an outside linebacker, to take Warren down. It's a gain of about 10. I need water.
And Luke Kremkes is probably going to sleep and, have dreams about this play for the rest of his high school career, because he was maybe a half-inch away from getting a one-handed pick and running the other way. Yeah, there was no one there, and he read it perfect. He was just a half step late to react to it, and it ends up being a first down.
A First Dakota first down and goal for Washington at the Lincoln 7. Sling to the right side, right through the hands. Warren standing tall at the 2. Too high of a throw from Hoffman. Another just wicked dart. And single coverage at the goal line as well for Lincoln. So it'll bring up a 2nd and goal.
The other thing is, I think that was Tatum Bell rolling down into the box at 6'2", 185 pounds. That's not an easy throw, throwing a slant over a 6'2" safety that really, he might be bigger than 6'2" when you see him in person, too. And so that's a tight window, and he did a great job of getting his hands up, too.
2nd and goal, Washington from the 7. Far hash, left to right, backfield throw. It's caught, but then it's tackled for about a 10-yard loss. The catch made by Warren, the tackle made by Connor Gray, one of the best linebackers in the state. A 9-yard loss will bring up 3rd and goal for Washington from the 16.
And they actually had a really good play call for the call that Lincoln's defense was in with man. They motioned the guy in, had all of Lincoln's linebackers and the kid in man chasing across. He motions back out, and then they just threw it to him so fast that the outside linebacker was able to just get right upfield and tackle him for a loss, whereas if they wait a half second, he probably had the edge to score.
Not just any outside linebacker. Connor Gray, Lincoln's leading tackler coming into the game. 3rd and 16 from the 16. Ryan Evans, the Washington head coach, calls a timeout with 55 seconds remaining in the third quarter. His Warriors trailing undefeated number 2 ranked Lincoln 41-14. It's our Avera game of the week. We're keeping it right here on Fox Sports 98.1, Metrosports.tv, DakotaNewsNow.com, Outlaw Channel 13.2. And next week on our Avera game of the week, we're going to start getting into some top 5 tilts down the stretch, Peyton. Brandon Valley at Lincoln, right back here at Howard Wood Field. The week after that on the slate is Jefferson visiting Harrisburg. Then Harrisburg and Brandon Valley in a good old-fashioned battle of the burbs. And then we'll pick our poison for our finale, Lincoln and Harrisburg or Brandon Valley and Jefferson. So we might have some white knucklers as we get closer to the playoffs.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is I think Lincoln has the upper hand on anyone right now because of the fact that they had somewhat of a test with Jefferson. And so they have the confidence to go into these games with these other teams knowing we're battle-tested, we're confident, and we haven't lost in a year and a half. And so our kids have faced adversity. They know what it takes to win. And at this level, I mean, zebras don't change their stripes. So teams that win are going to win because it's what they're good at. And teams that lose do it because it's also what they're good at. And so when Lincoln gets into the games that are chaos, they're going to be just fine.
3rd and 16, Jace Woods on the jet sweep, taking it to the far side left across the 10 to the 5, looking for the end zone, and he stepped out of bounds at the 2. So it'll be 4th and goal, Washington at the 2. Off the timeout, a 14-yard run by Jace Woods, one of their best athletes, and this is a rare occasion where Washington now they do huddle. Well, so what happened there?
And this is what Washington needs to do more of, is just incorporating Jace Woods, whether it's in the pass or the run game. I mean, NFL fans watch the Cowboys game, hand the ball to C.D. Lamb, and you're kind of like, that's a receiver. They're getting the best player of the ball. And Washington's best player is Jace Woods, and they just don't get him the ball enough, and so they need to get it to him, whether it's handing it off or throwing quick screens to him too.
4th and goal from the 2. It's a pass right side. Jace Woods, single coverage, brought it down over Jameer Bird. Touchdown, Washington. It's 41-20 Lincoln.
And it's to a point with Washington's offense where you need to stop worrying about if the defense knows what you're about to do. Okay, so if Jace Woods has press man coverage, I don't care if the defensive back knows that he's going to run a fade on him. Jace Woods is good enough to still win that matchup usually, and Tommy Hoffman's really good at throwing that ball to give Jace the only opportunity to catch it, and the DB can't pick it off. And they need to start capitalizing on that look more throughout the whole game instead of when they're down and it's like, well, we better get Jace the ball before we kind of upset some kids.
Yeah, I figured on that jet sweep as it was unfolding, I was like, oh, Peyton's going to love this. And he's going to say something to the effect of, finally. 41-21 as Dauberpool makes the extra point. He's still perfect on the year, 12 of 12. 41 seconds remain in the third quarter. It's 41-21 Lincoln with the lead. Again, 35-14 was your score at halftime, so each team has a touchdown in this third quarter. The Patriots had a high snap on their PAT, so they only got 6 on the board. A beautiful night, temperatures in the 60s. It's a busy night at the sports complex here in Sioux Falls with rodeo right across the street. Looks like it's just getting done because I see some cars moving along. Just a crowded parking lot. Primo parking tonight. And the kickoff left to right. Caught at the 5-yard line. That was a big booming kick. The return made by Javen Augustus, who has a couple touchdown runs tonight. And by the time he made it upfield to the 15-yard line, about half the Warriors coverage team crunches him at about the 15. And so Lincoln will take the field with 33 seconds remaining in the third quarter. By Primo parking, I mean, parking was at a premium. It was, you and I saw this. There was 2 football games, probably bringing in a total of 10,000 people maybe. I'm going to guess close to a full arena. Sioux Falls loves its rodeo right across the way, the Premier Center. There's also Sioux Falls Comic-Con tonight for people who love their comics and their comedy. So it's literally a traffic jam here at Howard Wood Field and the Premier Center. Toss pitch, left side. Augustus runs to the near side, but stopped on the boundary before he got out of bounds. From the 18 to the 24-yard line, about a 6-yard gain as the clock rolls inside 20 seconds remaining in the third. Quick snap, though. Schaefer to Akasi, bubble screen, near side, caught at the 24. A few extra yards and ushered out of bounds at the 27. And a late flag flew, 7 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
I mean, that one was softer than the one earlier. Out of bounds. I mean, the kid there, they just kind of gave him a little bit of a nudge after he was already out of bounds. And it's harped on so much. And then you watch the games on TV and it's harped on because the whole nation's watching it.
Yeah.
And it's one where you can just let that one go. Like, there was no repercussions for that one. Just move on to the next play.
Would have been a First Dakota first down for Lincoln, but they tack on a 15 more yards to the 43. Lincoln, its own 43, likely the last play of the third quarter, up by 20. From the near side hash, and flags fly on the snap. So we're just having the darndest time finishing this third quarter. It's a false start on Lincoln.
We're just letting the parking lot clear out for these rodeo fans.
That's right. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's all contrived. It's a conspiracy. Patriots now 1st and 15 from their own 38. Near side, 4 down linemen. 2 wide, near side, short side left. 1 to the far side right. That's always interesting. And the tight end is on the short side left as well. Schaefer has Vakurovich move to the right of him, then the left of him, then behind him. They just keep moving back and forth, moving parts. Plord, the tight end, moves to the right side of the field. More window dressing, handoff up the middle to Vakurovich. He's wrapped up pretty easily by some Washington linebackers at the 40 for a 2-yard gain. And ladies and gentlemen, that concludes your third quarter from Howard Wood Field. Second-ranked Lincoln leading Washington 41-21. The fourth quarter of our Vera Game of the Week is a minute away on Fox Sports 98.1, Metrosports.tv, and DakotaNewsNow.com.
Has more than 40 years of experience providing great hospitality and focusing on providing seniors the full life. We have restaurant-style dining. We have a health and fitness club, wonderful life enrichment activities. We have wonderful team members who are here to be your support systems and your friends. Health services care team members who will help you in any level of care, assisted living, and then 2 levels of memory care and early memory care support. All of those things are at your fingertips when you're here at All Saints.
Banking isn't just about financial products. It's about service and what we can do for you. Those personal touches are at the core of who we are at Central Bank. Decisions are made locally by people who get to know you. And while a lot has changed since 1877, we're still committed to our customers and to being the best bank in every community we serve. Central Bank, member FDIC.
Fourth quarter underway. East Side showdown. Lincoln up 20 with the ball. 2nd and 12 at its own 41. Just a handoff into a pile. A very short gain for Javen Augustus, who had 110 yards on just 6 carries at halftime. A couple of touchdown runs, one of them from 79 yards. He did move this forward to the 43, so it's 3rd and 10 at Lincoln. 3 down linemen for the Warriors. 3 wide right, 1 short side left for the quarterback, Brody Schaefer. Another wildly productive night, mostly with his legs. He has 3 touchdown runs. Play clock down to 10. Finally the snap, fakes the handoff, play action, throw right side, wide open but dropped. Everett Starks had the first down. Near hashes at the 43, just went right through his hands. Couple defenders within a couple feet of him. That's probably one of the I'm going to run before I actually catch it type of thing.
Yeah, that was a dig route where he saw green grass all over the place, and he saw the ball in the air, and it was a really long throw where that's one where he's like, I know I'm open, And by that point, you're thinking about catching it before you've actually caught it. And those are sometimes tougher than the contested ones.
I'm so wide open. This is going to be great. So it is 4th and 9. Lincoln punting for just the third time tonight. Edison Knoll takes a high snap. Rush comes at him. He's able to get it away. And it's a high but short kick. No wind knocking it down. It's just high and short. Felt the pressure. It lands and just pretty much stops. It's fielded after it lands at the 34. That's a good field by Tatum Bell. Anticipating maybe a long roll backwards. Actually, well, that's what you would want.
And one thing we haven't really talked about is how we talk about the tempo of Lincoln and how they love to play fast and how, honestly, at times I'm like, I don't know how John's still talking here because they've ran 6 plays and he hasn't had a breath. And so then, but they do such a good job of subbing guys in and out, whereas at higher levels, when an offensive guy subs, the defense gets a chance to match, and at this level, you don't get that opportunity. And that's what puts so much strain on the defense.
1st and 10, a First Dakota first down for Washington. Kremke's bats a pass high into the air. Hoffman trying to throw a short, quick pass. Luke Kremke's at 6'4", 250 just went up and did the Matumbo stuff. And that stops the clock mercifully a minute into the fourth quarter. 41-21, Lincoln with the lead. Through 3 quarters, Peyton, 11 carries, 127 yards for Javen Augustus. Brody Schaefer, 10 carries, 108 yards. 16 of 25 passing, 192 yards, a touchdown and an interception. Lincoln, 444 yards to Washington's 268. 2nd and 10, Warriors, their own 34. Hoffman over the middle, incomplete. Double covered. Jace Woods could not break free from a couple Lincoln defensive backs. It'll bring up 3rd and 10. 444 to 268. That is over 700 yards of total offense between these two squads, 3 quarters in.
Well, and the biggest thing I notice is the fact that Schaefer has 10 carries for 108 yards. I mean, we talked about Josh Myers as the player to watch, and when he's not playing, you get Augustus and Vukovic, who are both capable runners, and you saw Augustus break one. But really, when your stud running back is out, your best player needs to touch the ball, and they've done a great job of keeping Schaefer in the run game.
3rd and 10. Hoffman backpedaling, screen pass over the middle, caught by Kucera, the running back. He stays on his feet, through some traffic, 40, angling left 45. May have gotten the first down. He sure did. Across the 45, a First Dakota first down gain of about 13 yards. Hoffman to Kucera, and this is another Washington first down where I wonder, should they do more of these? Should they do more screen plays like that? I haven't seen very many of them tonight.
Well, you saw Ruben DeHaye break in there free, and it's one where he's kind of done that multiple times tonight, so how do I know it's a screen? And he was kind of stuck in no man's land of stopping and finding the back or continuing upfield.
First Dakota first down, a handoff up the middle, Kucera. About 2 yards to Washington's 49. Clock still runs. We are just over 10 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, and Kucera is lying on his back and appears to be writhing in pain. It stops the clock with 10:15 remaining in the contest. 41-21, Lincoln with the lead. The Patriots have been in command most of the night. The Warriors struck first, 80-yard drive to open the game, a 70-yard 3rd and 19 completion. Tommy Hoffman to Sam Ewing, setting up 5 yards. Hoffman to Jace Woods for a 7-0 lead, but the Patriots would then score on each of their first 5 drives and lead 35-14 at the break. Warriors have actually outscored the Patriots in the second half, 14-6. Kucera now on his keister, but sitting up with a pair of trainers and head coach Ryan Evans surrounding him. And this is at that point where we almost decide to take the timeout, and then the player gets up. He appears to be okay. He's going to walk gingerly off the field. And hard to speculate. I won't. Maybe you can.
Yeah, he was stuck between so many guys that sometimes it's one where you're stood upright, you're begging the refs to blow their whistle, and then that last guy comes in and gets that shot on you. And usually it's your ribs or your arms that get a helmet that usually it either takes the wind out of you or it's one that ends up getting you a stinger to where it hurts for a while.
So Kucera off the field. Washington basically a three-man rotation at running back. Kucera got the start tonight. Ralph Williams, the Lincoln transfer, has had a few carries. He's the back that comes in on this play. Braden Jackson is going to be a load to handle for AAA football in years to come, a sophomore. 2nd and 7, Washington at midfield, and flags fly. We've had a lot of penalties in this game. This is the 12th penalty between these two squads. And with the false start, Washington has its 7th for 48 yards. We're now inside 10 minutes remaining, fourth quarter. Lincoln up 41-21. Washington in their white jerseys, black pants, black numerals, black helmets, Washington logo. Lincoln in those Columbia blue jerseys, white pants, white helmets. 2nd and 12, Warriors. Their own 45, near hash, right to left. 4 down linemen for Lincoln. Hoffman running right where there's 2 receivers. Looking, running, throwing. And the catch is made. Owen Warren catching it at the far numbers 35, falling right down in between 2 receivers. I mean, Tommy Hoffman can sure throw a pretty ball.
Yeah, he's really good at getting out to his right. And when he rolls right, he's pretty accurate too, which is something that you don't see much of a high school kid being accurate on the run. But then Owen Warren did a phenomenal job of holding on to that because he knew he was going to get hit by Jameer Byrd there, and he took a shot. And to hold on to that's a big play for Washington.
20-yard pass is a First Dakota first down. Warriors in Lincoln territory at the 35. Hoffman stepping back, chased from the middle. Krempkes wraps him up all the way on the far sideline at the 45. 2 flags came flying on the sack.
Yeah, we're going to get a face mask here. He got a hold. And that's such an unfortunate play because you break through, you get a sack, it's a big play, and you made a great play, and you graze the face mask, and now it's 15 yards against you.
Yeah, it's one of those where I, as the layman, go, he clearly did not need to grab him by the face mask. Why would he? And you mentioned the graze. Like, is that just sometimes momentum or instinct in the moment? Like, he did not need to grab that face mask to take him down.
Yeah, I think you're just trying to get him down by any means possible. And with a guy like Hoffman, who's pretty elusive getting out of the pocket, you're just reaching out trying to get a hold of anything. And sometimes when you're 6'4", those arms reach up and it's a face mask that you get a hold of.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. So, 15-yard penalty. Washington now at the Lincoln 20, knocking on the door in the red zone. 41-21. Inside 9 to go, fourth quarter. It's a First Dakota first down. And Hoffman from the gun, quick throw. Owen Warren catches it. He's immediately tackled in between the hashes. Throw to the left side, Connor Cray with another Johnny-on-the-spot tackle. Leading tackler for these Patriots. It's a gain of 2 to the 18.
And Hoffman did a good job recognizing the blitz from the middle linebackers there. And you could see afterward, after the completion, he was kind of gesturing to break that a little more to the middle where there was a bigger window and Gray couldn't attack right away.
2nd and 8, Warriors at the Lincoln 18. Right to left between the hashes. Lincoln crowding the line. Hoffman throwing left side way over the head of Owen Warren. Wasn't even turned around and ready for it. Just a quick misfire, bringing up 3rd and 8. Clock stops. 8:04 remaining, fourth quarter.
And that's just great coaching by Lincoln's staff because they show the blitz. I'm sure all week they told the kids, hey, when we get this look and we have this call, that backside linebacker is not blitzing, and he's going to jump to the trip side, and he's going to throw it to number 3. All you got to do is just get there on time and get your eyes on the quarterback. Luckily for Hoffman, he got the ball out almost too early because if he threw it on time, Gray was going to pick that off.
Washington's down by 20. They've been down by as many as 28. It has felt lopsided all night, but Washington, a touchdown away from a 2-score game. Jet sweep, Jace Woods, right side on 3rd and 8, 18. He's got space. First down and more at the 10 to the 5, and he is bumped out of bounds at the 1 just before he got in. Just like on the last drive, Jace Woods on about a 17-yard run to set up a First Dakota first down and goal for Washington. And right back to the line, Tommy Hoffman under center, gorilla set. Washington going for the touchdown, and Hoffman just churns his legs. No signal yet. Now there is. Touchdown! Washington all of a sudden is within 2 scores of Lincoln.
And it's such a weird thing when you get your best player the ball. He gets, 16, 17 yards on a reverse again. I mean, Washington should not go more than 3 plays without trying and forcing the ball to Jace Woods at this point, because every time he touches it, good things have happened. And it's when they start to go away from him that they start to fall out and get negative plays.
Dauberpool is 3 of 3 tonight, 12 of 12 on the year. Looking to stay perfect. Snap will be coming in from Miles Yitagesu. The hold Owen Warren. The kick is through. There's no such thing as a broadcaster curse when you're good enough to make the kicks. And with 7:52 remaining in the fourth quarter, number 2 Lincoln leads Washington 41-28. We'll take a minute timeout on Fox Sports 98.1, Outlaw Channel 13.2, and DakotaNewsNow.com.
Experience it all. Follow your academic and career goals and your love for the arts, music, and competition that thrills you. Learn from award-winning faculty and in classes where you are more than a number. Build lifelong friendships at game day experiences and in student organizations for all interests. At Augustana, you don't have to choose. Live and learn in the heart of South Dakota's largest city, where job opportunities, networks of professionals, and a hometown feel await you. Find your bold at Augustana University.
Your time is valuable.
You shouldn't have to wait for the weather forecast.
That's why the First Alert Weather Team is giving you weather every 5 minutes in every newscast.
Every 5 minutes in the morning, every 5 minutes in the evening,
And every 5 minutes on the weekends, too.
focusing on the weather that affects you.
You'll always get the First Alert so you can plan ahead.
First Alert weather every 5 minutes. Only on Dakota News Now.
Here come the Washington Warriors, 7:43 remaining, fourth quarter, trailing number 2 Lincoln 41-28, trailing by double digits in at least 2 or 3 scores most of the night, cutting the lead to 13 on that touchdown drive of about 80 yards. Tommy Hoffman on the 2-yard keep, set up by an 18-yard Jace Woods jet sweep, and then Lincoln on the kickoff return, fielding it at the 1-yard line, fumbling it, recovering it, and getting only to the 10. First Dakota first down for the Patriots, up 13, just under 8 minutes remaining in the game. Team that was dominating this game has nearly 500 yards of offense, but still hasn't shut the door. And it's a handoff to the tailback, and there is nowhere to go for Javen Augustus, trying to turn the corner near the right boundary, and is stopped between the numbers and the boundary at the 10 for no gain.
And for Washington, you're really hoping if you get a quick 3 and out here, I mean, 7.5 minutes is a lot of time still left in this game, to where if you Lincoln's such a quick-paced offense that they're really only going to run off a minute. You're going to get it with 6 minutes, a quick score, and this is a different ball game.
2nd and 10, Patriots from the 10, toss pitch right side. Augustus tripped up across the 10. He's able to dive forward to about the 12. Into the arms of Dante Smith, on his way to becoming an all-state linebacker this year, but that's a great backfield tackle before him. It's a 3-yard gain, 3rd and 7 Lincoln. Inside 7 minutes remaining, fourth quarter, up 13, but at their own 13. There's going to be 3 wide left, 1 to the near side right for the Patriots. 3 down lineman Washington. They're dropping back into coverage. Now there's a man in motion left to the slot right, Mikey Roach. Shotgun, Schaefer looking right, throwing a dart. It's almost picked off at the 30-yard line. It went right through the hands of the intended wideout at the 20, and the Warriors almost had a pick deep in Lincoln territory and maybe a pick 6.
Yeah, and this is, as a coordinator, this is such a tough spot for Lincoln because you're in a mentality where you need to run some clock, but you also don't want to get too conservative to where they do what they just did and they go run, pass, and complete, and they run off almost less than a minute and give Washington the ball back, and it was almost a disaster with a pick 6.
And then the snap on the punt goes to Edison Knoll. He's able to snatch it 8 yards deep in the end zone. He gets the punt off. It's high. The Warriors let it go. It's down by Lincoln on one bounce at the 32. So the Patriots go 3 and out deep in their own territory. They skirt utter disaster with Knoll. Would have been a safety with Washington getting the ball back. But now the Warriors, who were down at one point in this game at halftime, 35 to 14, 35-7 late in the first half, 41-14 early in the second half. Now it's 41-28. 6:16 remaining after a monster defensive stop. Here comes the gunslinger, the third-year starter, Tommy Hoffman, senior quarterback, a First Dakota first down on the Lincoln 32. 3 wide right. That's where Hoffman looks. Now left. Rush up the middle. He evades it. Here comes another guy. And Karsten Benson nails him back at the 45. Big time 13-yard sack for Lincoln.
I mean, if you're Washington, I struggle to understand why you wouldn't try to isolate Jace Woods right now and get him the ball every play. And then after you start to see Lincoln adjust to it, then you can find the other guys. But right now, he's been your best player. He's given you the most explosive plays, and he's been the most consistent player all night, and they're just not isolating him enough to where he can do what he can.
2nd and 22 Washington from the Lincoln 44. Between the hashes, right to left, empty backfield. Hoffman throws quick. Left side, caught. Woods in traffic, but he is, for lack of a better word, lassoed down at the 40 for about a 4-yard gain. Karsten Benson with another big play in space. And it brings up a 3rd and 17 Washington. 5:15 and ticking. Fourth quarter, down 41-28. A golden opportunity in Lincoln territory, but there's not a lot to dial up on 3rd and 17. Hoffman has a big arm, an accurate arm at times. Shotgun, empty backfield, steps back, avoids a sack, looking left, spinning again, avoiding another sack, throwing downfield through traffic, it's intercepted by Lincoln. Tatum Bell at the 25, ahead to the 29, out of bounds at the 29, and that ends Washington's latest threat. A pick from Tommy Hoffman, and the Patriots will set up, leading by 13 with 4:45 to play.
Well, and the longer that play was going on, you just knew that was coming. I mean, that's been kind of the story of Hoffman's career, is he's making a great play by evading the rush, kind of can't just throw it away and live to see the 4th down and maybe make a play then. Decides to just chuck it up as he's going out of bounds into 4 guys, and Bell's just standing there. He could have fair caught it. And it goes from a decent play from Hoffman to evade a sack to a terrible play to an interception.
29-yard line for Lincoln. First Dakota first down. Wide handoff left to Augustus, trying to move behind defenders, and finally runs out of bounds across the 40 to the 41, a 12-yard gain. Lincoln gets a First Dakota first down to move the chains, stops the clock with 4:37 remaining in the fourth quarter. A 41-28 lead for the Patriots off of Tommy Hoffman's 3rd interception of the year. That's a pretty good year for him after his sophomore and junior years. He's trying to make a play. Toss pitch, right side. Augustus has diagonal room. 45, 50, 45, near side 30. One guy to beat, and he trips him up all the way inside the 15. Javen Augustus marked down at the 12 after a 47-yard run. He's up to about 175 yards on the night, and he's the backup tailback.
Well, and these running backs for Lincoln are really talented, but it also goes to what they do schematically, because they can just plug whoever in right now, and they're going to be able to be successful. And Augustus' speed is what gets them such an explosive play, but anyone right there could have gained 15, 20 yards, and so then him breaking it for 55 is what makes him so valuable for them.
Even me, would I have gained 15,
you
20 yards? First and down Lincoln at the 12 of Washington. A quick throw to the right side, laterally caught and moved ahead for a couple of yards by the tight end Plord. Joseph Plord, a 6'2", 220-pound senior. Nice stop for just a 3-yard gain to the Washington 9. Lincoln, the combination of moving toward the end zone and moving the clock. Inside 3.5 left, fourth quarter, up 41-28 on East Side rival Washington. Brody Schaefer has had another stellar night from the quarterback position. The sophomore, 2nd and 7 at the Washington 9. Near hash left to right, 2 wide left, 1 short side right. Long count. Finally, a handoff up the middle of Akurovich. Able to get a couple yards, but a good tackle made fairly quickly by Xander Idem, a linebacker. It'll bring up 3rd and 4 from the 6, under 3 to play. Now, Lincoln has been moving no huddle for most of the night. They want to take some clock. They do not huddle again. Schaefer walks up to the center, looks back at the sideline for the play call. Still 20 seconds on the play clock. Again, up 13, 3rd and 4 from the Washington 6. Toward the tight end, hovers over from right to left side. Fake handoff, Schaefer out the middle, standing and walking in for the touchdown. The seas parted, and Lincoln back up by 19 with 2:34 remaining in the game. Off the interception, they easily go 70 yards in just a few plays to shut the door.
Well, and that's really what makes their offense so diverse compared to anyone else in the state, really, is as soon as they get in the red zone, the threat of Schaefer keeping the ball puts defenses in such a bind, and it's why I think he leads them in touctouchdowns this year rushing.
Oh, yeah, by
because
far.
of the fact that teams are so used to accounting just for running back and receivers, and when he keeps it puts them in such a bind.
Patriots missed an extra point for the second time tonight. Last time they missed, it was a high snap. And don't look at me on that one. He wasn't perfect. Washington's guy was perfect coming into the night. Knowles missed a few. But he misses this one. And again, I'm looking down. I'm still frantically trying to, keep track of Lincoln's touchdowns. Did he just miss it left? Did he miss it right?
I didn't see where.
All right. Well,
what
thankfully.
angle. I was just remembering you said 58 yards last week that he was going to kick a field goal from.
Okay, now that's you're twisting the words just a tad. He would have had a 58-yard field goal, and I said he had a strong leg, and you had a very extremely difficult time not bursting into laughter while your father ridiculed that notion, which, was probably deserved. But he has a stronger leg than most kickers.
He does.
But it did not make that last attempt.
Although tonight, it makes me wonder if they've told him to not kick it into the end zone, and that maybe they saw something with Washington's return team. Because there's been a few that have landed at like the 15. When he normally kicks, it's 5 yards into the end zone when he's trying to.
By the way, it's 47-28, Lincoln with the lead with 2:34 remaining in the contest. And this time, yes, he does. He just drills it end over end. Not a high boomer nor a line drive, somewhere in between. I mean, he pretty much, if there's no wind involved, and there's been very little tonight or in any Lincoln game we've done, I mean, it's just almost automatic that he's gonna kick a touchback for the Patriots. So that's what it is this time. Washington has the ball now with 2:34 remaining. For a moment, we thought, my goodness, maybe we'll have a one-score game, as Washington scored a touchdown to make it 41-28 mid-fourth quarter, and then Lincoln was 3 and out. They punted. Washington had it inside the 30. Tommy Hoffman threw a pick under the rush of the Lincoln defense, and the Patriots cashed that in for a touchdown. And on first down, a First Dakota first down from Washington's own 20, Hoffman again on the run, firing it downfield to the far sideline, wide of a few people at about the 40 on the boundary. It'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Well, and this game could have been totally different if Washington would have caught that interception that they dropped on 3rd down, because he dropped it at about the 30, but there was really no one there to stop him if he'd have caught it. Maybe Schaefer meets him at about the 5, and then it's a pretty easy drive for Washington to cut it to a one-score game. Whereas when you drop it and then you get sacked on first down and go backwards, it's just hard to recover from that.
The Warriors call the second of their 3 timeouts allotted in the half. 2:26 remaining, 47-28. We are in the fourth quarter. Lincoln with the lead. The Patriots have led almost the entire game. The Warriors scored first, went 80 yards in 6 plays, had a 70-yard strike on 3rd and 19 to set up a 5-yard TD. Hoffman to Woods, and we thought, oh my goodness, are we on upset alert tonight? And then the Patriots scored easily on 5 straight drives. I'm not saying that was a definitive thought.
Yeah, we didn't.
Just, it's kind of like, hey, if you're going to get an upset, it helps to score first. And then Lincoln got the ball and scored 35 in a row. It was 35-14 at the break. 41-21 after 3. Now it's 47-28 28. Lincoln has well over 500 yards of offense. Brody Schaefer, the sophomore quarterback, has 4 touchdown runs and probably over 150 yards on the ground. After the third quarter, he had 108. Tommy Hoffman, the Washington quarterback, 2nd and 10, their own 20. Right to left, handoff. After taking the timeout, the Warriors handed off up the middle. Ralph Williams, check that, Braden Jackson. Braden Jackson, the battering Ram, sophomore, gets a few yards up the middle. He's 6 foot, 195 pounds, and he showed a couple big runs in the President's Bowl, second half, against Washington, against Jefferson a couple weeks ago. 3rd and 7. Washington its own 23, down 19, inside 2 to go, fourth quarter. Another handoff, and there's nowhere for Jackson to go. A great job by 3 or 4 different Patriots to corral him about 2 yards. They'll mark it a yard behind the line of scrimmage, and Washington will have to punt.
Yeah, it's never good when a zone run looks like a screen, and you look up and all 3 of the down linemen are in your face right away. I mean, that as a running back is like your worst nightmare. There's not even a gap to find to run through. And so with Washington punting now, you just kind of moving on to next week and hoping that, hey, we put a fright into them. Can we roll some things on throughout the rest of the year?
Ryan Evans, the Washington coach, is standing next to the ref on the far side, the official, taking the play clock all the way down to 1 before calling Washington's final timeout. With 1:04 remaining in the fourth quarter, trailing Lincoln 47-28. It's going to be 4th and 8 Washington from its own 22. So the Warriors about a minute away from falling to 1-4. They will have a nice opportunity for victory number 2 on the season next week when they face Rapid City Central out in the Black Hills. And again, the Patriots will welcome Brandon Valley, and the gauntlet of Lincoln's schedule already with the Jefferson in the rearview mirror. We'll start with Brandon Valley next week. They'll have Harrisburg to finish the season. So it's going to be fun down the stretch here on the Avera Game of the Week. So after the timeout, Washington on 4th and 8 sends its punt unit on. 1:04 remaining in the game. 47-28 Lincoln. Owen Warren, the punter, standing back at his own 6. Mikey Roach, the single returner for Lincoln at midfield.
Well, and this is just the difference between a really good team and the rest of the teams is Washington calls the timeout there, and then out of the timeout has to late sub a guy on for the punt. And that's going to drive Coach Evans crazy, is little things like that where you're trying to build something, and obviously someone had a missed assignment to where now you have to go in on meetings on Monday and be like, guys, these are the things that can't happen. Our mental mistakes that the other teams aren't causing this. This is stuff we can fix.
The punt from Owen Warren was a bit of a sidewinder that angled left. A short punt flew out of bounds, marked at the 49, so it's about a 27-yard punt, and Brody Schaefer in the Lincoln offense with 55 seconds remaining and a 19-point lead takes a knee in the victory formation. He'll probably have to do that one more time. Lincoln students getting that familiar chant going. What do you think of that chant?
Well, it was a soccer chant at first. Technically football.
It sure was.
If you want to call it that.
Yeah,
football.
About 10 years ago in the World Cup is when I first started hearing that, and now it's like a requirement. It's a state. It's a federal law.
Personally, I'm shocked Lincoln hasn't come up with a new one since it's been about a year and a half that they've had to do this every Friday night since they haven't lost.
Yeah, but they're not the only one. Like everybody does it.
Every team.
So somebody has to come up with a better one, or else this is going to go on for the rest of our lives. One final kneel down, and that is it. Washington made it interesting in the fourth quarter. These two teams combined for over 800, maybe over 900 yards of offense. Plenty of fireworks, but in the end, Lincoln with more firepower. They win the East Side Showdown 47-28 to move to 5-0 on the season. A monster matchup with Brandon Valley back here at the Wood next week, while Washington falls to 1-4. We'll pick our player of the game, and we'll have some highlights and some scores on our post-game show. It's the Avera Game of the Week on Fox Sports 98.1, Outlaw Channel 13.2, Metrosports.tv, and DakotaNewsNow.com.
Banking isn't just about financial products. It's about service and what we can do for you. Those personal touches are at the core of who we are at Central Bank. Decisions are made locally by people who get to know you. And while a lot has changed since 1877, we're still committed to our customers and to being the best bank in every community we serve. Central Bank, member FDIC.
Jackrabbits don't wait to see what the future holds. They build it. At South Dakota State University, the next generation's leaders are preparing to launch. They're focusing on growth, and they're reaching new heights of excellence across vital industries. SDSU is building something greater for South Dakota and the world. Join us.
Finding a place to belong is everything. It's where you can make a difference, where you're heard, where you have a team that supports you, and the benefits you deserve. At Avera, you can find that place. You belong at Avera. Apply today. Avera.org/careers.
Starting the first bank in South Dakota was the easy part, earning the confidence of local farmers, helping families account for their dreams, and securing the future for countless businesses took us a little longer. We owe it to the hard workers, big dreamers, and forward thinkers out there. Thank you for making South Dakota a great place to call home.
Your time is valuable.
You shouldn't have to wait for the weather forecast.
That's why the First Alert Weather Team is giving you weather every 5 minutes in every newscast.
Every 5 minutes in the morning, every 5 minutes in the evening,
And every 5 minutes on the weekends, too.
focusing on the weather that affects you.
You'll always get the first alert so you can plan ahead.
First Alert weather every 5 minutes. Only on Dakota News Now.
Josh and Emily are visiting Emily's parents this weekend, where Josh will propose. He's nervous, but not about the ring. Well done, Josh. Well done. Chase is proposing to Ashley at the resort where they first met. Ashley was vacationing with friends, but Chase ended up being her best friend of all, plus some. Every diamond tells a story, but there's no story like yours. And there's no diamond like a Greenberg's diamond. Greenberg's Jewelers, a cut above the rest.
Experience it all. Follow your academic and career goals and your love for the arts, music, and competition that thrills you. Learn from award-winning faculty and in classes where you are more than a number. Build lifelong friendships at game day experiences and in student organizations for all interests. At Augustana, you don't have to choose. Live and learn in the heart of South Dakota's largest city, where job opportunities, networks of professionals, and a hometown feel await you. Find your bold at Augustana University.
Howard Wood Field, where 838 total yards, 75 points were accrued in a 47-28 win for number 2 ranked Lincoln over Washington two schools just a few miles apart, two gunslinging quarterbacks coming here to put on a show. Tommy Hoffman did it early, a 70-yard pass to set up a 5-yard touchdown pass to give Washington an early 7-0 lead. But then Lincoln's offense took the field, and tonight it racked up 519 yards, 324 on the ground, 195 through the air, and Brody Schaefer, no doubt, is our player of the game. He's the sophomore quarterback who had 11 carries for 114 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's on the ground. He was 17 of 28 for 195 yards, a touchdown, and 1 interception, and a 64-yard touchdown pass. 5 touchdowns total for Brody Schaefer, who also finishes with 1 yard shy of 410 yards. I was going to say 400 yards, but no, he has 410 yards of total offense. John Gaskins with Peyton Riggs. Those are your headlines. I mean, it takes a village. Lincoln has a lot of really good football players both sides of the field. But I mean, it still is, it's been the Brody Schaefer show for each of these first 5 games.
Yeah, and even tonight, like if you want to be nitpicky, you can critique his interception. But I would put that one on Coach Struck because you're on the 7-yard line, and anytime you get in the red zone and they call a read option where Schaefer has the potential to keep it, he scores. And so, I mean, they did it. He had 4 touchdowns on the ground. He's probably going into the locker room like, Struck, nice job. You caused me to throw a pick. I was trying to make a play for you because I know you love to throw it. But, I mean, really, he's doing such a good job for a sophomore of just giving what the defense gives him. And then when they need him to make a play, using his feet to do so and not always relying on, hey, let me just throw this up into 2 safeties in a corner or throw it out of bounds and live to see another down like he's been doing this game.
He's up to 960 passing yards through 5 games, which it's not astounding. It's not even 200 yards a game, but he's doing it on about 67% accuracy. He now has 8 touchdown passes, 3 interceptions on the year. With 4 touchdown runs tonight, Brody Schaefer has 11 scores with his feet, and we are 5 games in. He's a sophomore quarterback. Javen Augustus was an awesome candidate for player of the game. Most guys who go 16 carries for 192 yards and 2 scores, one of them a 79-yarder, usually your player of the game. But it's hard to ignore the guy that had 4 touchdown runs and 410 total yards. Meanwhile, for Washington, Tommy Hoffman, 17 of 34, 205 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick late as Washington, they were at least getting our heartbeat up a little bit, down 13 inside the 30-yard line, and making this a little interesting late. But it's the Lincoln Patriots who are now 5-0 with the 47-28 victory over now 1-4 Washington. Metro Sports TV is viewer-supported, so help us keep these broadcasts free to watch for everyone. Please support our advertisers and leave our crew a tip by scanning the QR code on the screen right now. And what a crew it is, led by Chad Berger and our camera operators, Brad Newitt, our director of Sioux Falls Broadcast, and Pat Schultz is the CEO of Metrosports.tv on the live stream. And this is it for the television broadcast on Metro Sports Outlaw 13.2 and DakotaNewsNow.com. Excuse me. I almost made it to the end with Peyton Riggs, and this is the end. We just got started. We just started having fun 3 weeks in a row, and Peyton Riggs is off to Arizona to be an assistant coach, quarterbacks and wide receivers with the Arizona Rattlers. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Thought it was kind of time for a change to get out of Sioux Falls. Been here 23 years with 1 year in Seattle, but you just kind of get tired of seeing the same roads every day, and kind of, with Kalen at DeBoer at Alabama, and, you never know if my dad's going to go or what his plans are, and kind of just wanted to get out and be by myself for a little bit. And most people are kind of afraid of change, but I like when I hear about change, it excites me, and so I'm excited to kind of get out to a place where I don't have to see snow this winter.
After 2 years as the Storm's offensive coordinator, a couple of years at O'Gorman, Head west, young man. I'm all for it. I did the same thing at your age. I don't think you're going to regret it, but we will miss you. For Peyton Riggs and his father, Curtis, who is in Alabama sleeping in Kalen DeBoer's house tonight, huge game tomorrow between Alabama and Georgia. We've got one right here on the radio as the USF Cougars are at Minot State. And we'll have more scores from around high school football and send you off into the night next on Fox Sports 98.1 Radio. But that does it for our broadcast tonight. Lincoln 47, Washington 28. You've been watching our Avera Game of the Week on Metrosports.tv, Outlaw Channel 13.2, and DakotaNewsNow.com.
In nursing, where you work matters. At Avera, we build Team Green around you with a culture that values and supports you. Leaders who listen and care about your success. And benefits to reward the great work you do. The grass is greener at Avera. So join Team Green. Learn more at avera.org/careers.